Are we live? Y'all know how we do. Always put your help well. Better understand yourself, you did. Salute, salute. We're getting into the Somali organization today. We're hearing from their Pan-Africanists. Guy who supported Pan-Africanism this whole time. Check him out. Pan-African Nigerian. Check this out. Let's see what he's saying about this whole situation. Salute, Delta Root. Salute, man. Up there in Mississippi.
Trump has come out and said he's going to remove the temporary protected status that Somalis have in Minnesota so that he can start deporting them. And I just want to say, I absolutely support this as a Nigerian. I need him to remove that status and deport as many Somalis as possible. There you have it. It says, Trump says he is ending temporary deportation protection for Somalis in Minnesota. And I said, as a Nigerian, I support this. Let me explain why. After seeing what y'all did to your own brother in favor of Jacob Frey, you serve no purpose to your own people, to all black peoples. You need to get the fuck out of America. You are a net negative to all black people, to all African people. You need to get the fuck out. Because you live in America where you see white people unite behind race. But you decided that because someone is Somali, is from a different tribe, different clan, someone who wants the best for you and your people, someone who wants the best, bring.
But can y'all see how now the Pan-Africanism is saying this about them? You know, they was just talking about us about not being robbed, and now we seeing the Pan-Africanism is saying that they on our side. They're just a little weird. What y'all think about that?
In representation, who is going to put in laws and measures to protect you and your community? You said, nah. He's not from my tribe. Let the Jew win. Let Jacob Frey win. Africans have shown they would rather take suffering from someone they love than take enjoyment from someone they hate. Let me explain something. 100 years from now, there are going to be archaeologists that technology would have advanced to the point that they would find bones on the floor and just scan it, and it'll tell all the information. Let me tell you, those two clans that refuse to vote for each other, when those archaeologists scan it, I can promise you it's not going to show clan difference. The archaeologists, you understand where this is coming from. You Africans, and this applies to Nigerians too, they just haven't focused on us. But Nigerians will leave Nigeria, where they carry tribalism, everything, come to America. Bring their tribalism here. Be here. See every other people. See the Latinos united. See the whites united. See the Arabs united. They will still say, that's so amazing.
United?
I would never unite to that tribe. Bro. I would never unite. I absolutely support that shit. Donald Trump.
Y'all see how they don't even give us no credit. They'll see everybody else and they'll just be discrediting us every chance they get.
Needs to deport as many fucking Somalis as possible, because if you're gonna come here after so many years and you still don't know how to unite as a people, you serve no purpose. You are absolutely worthless to the rest of us, and you should not be in this country. You need to get the fuck out. You need to get the fuck out.
That's coming from a Pan-Africanist himself. But check this out. I wanted y'all to see this.
habeenii maalin ininka inii taagannahay markaan haddaan askarnahay Soomaaliyeed ininka inii shaqaynaa habeenii maalin ininka inii taagannahay fahanteen horta sida ogtihiinba wadankan anaga qaxootiyan imaadnay askar Soomaaliya ma jirin marka hadda anaga markii nala haygareeyay
but I'm gonna get the English speaking. Hold on. What the bundle is saying.
To move. When he finds himself in trouble on the political ropes, he distracts, divides, and demagogues. It's disgusting using real people as pawns as he
FBA on the
desperately
front
tries to
line.
change the
Salute.
subject. Minnesotans know that their costs are rising because
Listen, we gotta deport some of the Europeans too, man. If you with them, if you standing with them, you gotta go too, man. We need to educate these Europeans the fact that let them cannibalize each other. Hey man, if you own that, they need to be, because a lot of them the heads of it too, man. We're gonna have to deport some of y'all, not go to jail, because y'all know how to get out of that. You know, they don't go to jail for too long. Some of y'all need to go back, send them back to Europe, goddammit.
Of his tariffs and his terrible big bill. Healthcare costs in particular are soaring, and the president is desperate to change the subject. But scapegoating the Somali community won't decrease the cost of healthcare. The Somali community is part of the fabric of Minnesota. And the House DFL and all of Minnesota will always stand with the Somali community when the president targets them for his own political benefit. Thank you.
You see this? So they got the white community. You know what I'm saying? So it's already, basically what I'm saying is, they got some of the European people, man, that's co-signing this. This ain't just all Somali doing this on their own. You got some of the Caucasian community co-signing this, putting this to play together. So that's what makes it more crazy to me. What y'all think? He put let them cannibalize themselves. He put Anglo-Saxon are not indigenous to America at all. Okay. I ain't going through all of that, but y'all see what I'm saying? They're working with the Somalis just like Bush did, getting them kickbacks. Something going on. It ain't just them, like they being guided and used for something. But they think we don't see the play, but we definitely see the play. Yeah. Check this out. I had another one that I wanted y'all to hey, this everything. Wow, this is for the music. Hey, no flag, no channel for the music, no. Yeah, so if they really coming deep like that to pick them up, I want to see the people they done picked up. See what y'all talking about in the chat. I want to see what they picked up. According to Genesis 12, those who bless Somalia will be blessed. And they using that same thing. Look, y'all. This is how they feel. They trying to be the new they trying to be the new Jews for real. Y'all see that? Damn. Trying to be the innocent son of Somalia. They pushing that propaganda. But
Somali immigration to Minnesota for some reason. But the thing is, Minnesota is the homeland of the Somali people, and it was promised to us 3,000 years ago. In fact, one of the founding documents of the state of Minnesota is literally codifying into law that Somali people have self-determination on that land. As it states very plainly in the basic law of Minnesota, the land of Minnesota is the historical homeland of the Somali people, in which the state of Minnesota was established. The state of Minnesota is the home of the Somali people, in which it fulfills its natural, cultural, religious, and historical right to self-determination. The right to exercise self-determination in the state of Minnesota is unique to the Somali people. The state
They
views
claim they
the
got the
development of Somali settlement as a national value and will act to encourage and promote its establishment and consolidation. So that's the end of the debate.
so they claim they got their land they got their paperwork. No 98 water. What's good? What's good, family? This what I'm saying. They got he talking about they got the paperwork from a trust of their homeland. They got all this paperwork, but they can't give us our 40 acres and a mule. But they got paperwork saying they got land and all of this to Minnesota. Disrespect. Look, the state of Minnesota is our home of Somali people, in which it fulfills its natural, cultural, religious, and historical right to self-determination. They already got them in paperwork. So he said, look at her. I want y'all to see how her head look for real though. But look, bro, they got a whole police force of these. They got the whole police force in St. Paul. And I told y'all what St. Paul really was. Like St. Paul really was for it was the black indigenous people. When you get a chance, look up the Feed Our Future fraud in Minnesota with Tweety Bird. Look up the Feed Our Culture, Feed Our Future fraud. Oh, they did you mean what the Somalis did? They was feeding people. I'm gonna look it up for you. I'm gonna look it up. I wanted y'all to see. Let me look that up for you. That's crazy though. Brother, don't talk like you believe that lying tether. Who? What tether? They're trying to turn America into what tether you thought I believed? Somalia. Yeah, she put you. That's Somalia. No, I don't believe it. What you think? Feed Our Future fraud. I got you. Feed Our Future fraud. Shout out to everybody showed up. I was gonna go live tomorrow. I put Somali Feed Our Future. Hold on. Feed Our Future fraud. Got you. I got you. The case is called Feeding Our Future. Okay. I'm gonna play something. That one that said Minnesota belongs to them since when? Right. He's saying they signed some kind of trust or treaty or something with them. But Bush did let them over here in the 90s. I'm gonna get into that though too. The white man did give them a little perks to stand over here. We could see because they never let us have something like that. Feed Your Future scam. This it right here.
building just off Lake Street in Minneapolis. At the time, it was Safari Restaurant, which overall took in $12 million in federal child meal payments through Feeding Our Future. Safari's former co-owner, Salim Saeed, is on trial alongside Amy Bach, the Feeding Our Future executive director. Safari claimed to feed 4,000 to 6,000 kids a day. Its invoices and meal counts shown to the jury alongside the video. An FBI agent testifying that an average of 40 people came and went during the 6 weeks it was surveilled. The FBI set up a total of 12 cameras at sites claiming to serve extraordinary numbers of meals. Another was at a deli in St. Paul, also registered by defendant Salim Saeed, which claimed 1,800 meals per day. The video shown to the jury showed an average of 23 people a day coming and going. The jury was shown dozens of invoices, meal counts, and emails seized from Feeding Our Future's headquarters in St. Anthony. Some showed links to websites that randomly generated names and ages to create rosters of children who were served meals. Many were signed or sent by Amy Bach, who's charged with wire fraud, along with bribery for the alleged kickbacks that she received. Her defense attorney tried to raise doubt when it cross-examined the FBI agent, that they didn't see the back entrance where it's possible meals left packed in trucks for delivery. He pushed back, insisting they'd still see congestion. To that volume, he said, I would say it would not make any sense.
That case became one of the biggest COVID-era frauds in America. And the kicker, Minnesota's own Department of Education had red flags, massive spikes in reimbursement requests, impossible meal counts, and they still rubber stamped the paperwork. Now, this new audit proves what everyone with a brain has been saying for years, and competence starts at the top. When the governor's own office is sloppy with receipts, how can he possibly keep his agencies in line? Republican Senate Leader Mark Johnson said it perfectly. Quote, sloppy accountability at the top breeds waste and abuse everywhere else. And he's right about that. You cannot preach fiscal responsibility when you are overpaying employees, losing state property, and mismanaging vendor payments. And it's not just the Feeding Our Future mess. We've also got the Autism Services fraud case, another multi-million-dollar scam in the same state, involving clinics billing for therapy that never happened. And to make it worse, some of those same providers were linked to the Feeding Our Future network. It's the same pattern: inflated invoices, non-existent oversight, and zero accountability.
Y'all see what they got going on. Y'all see what they got going on.
Got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
That was not a good excuse from her, though. Yeah, I heard what she said. Yeah, I heard what she said. That was a good one, though. Shout out to Neil. Shout out to Neil. Yeah, they it looks like they doing a lot of scamming. Washes out the telecooler. I ain't even want to say that anymore. She put one of the Somalian dudes got 20 years in prison for that fraud case. Dang. He was getting kickbacks too. Yeah, man, them people, I'm telling y'all, they got a good group of white people that's supporting this too. Crazy as it seems. Shout out to little Judah. Judas. Yeah, that's crazy. What else you got for us, Tanil? What else you got for us? Get them out, deportations. Yeah. But besides that, they've been scamming. They even talking about $1 billion. Somebody got indicted.
Usman Kamara, the 45-year-old now charged with wire fraud, bribery, and money laundering. Federal prosecutors say that he owned a small grocery store in North Minneapolis and claimed to be feeding 1,000 kids a day, 7 days a week during the pandemic. Camara, who allegedly claimed more than $1 million in reimbursements, sent about $100,000 overseas, and he is just the latest to be charged. Earlier this year, Amy Bach, the executive director and founder of Feeding Our Future, was convicted of orchestrating the entire fraud scheme. Following a 6-week trial, it only took jurors 5 hours to convict Bach and her co-defendant, Salim Saeed. They were guilty on all counts, including conspiracy, wire fraud, and bribery. Now, Saeed was one of many meal site operators who collected millions in federal assistance. He falsely claimed to be serving meals to as many as 60,000 kids each day. Little perspective, that is twice the number of students enrolled in the entire Minneapolis Public School District. Of the 77 people now charged in connection with Feeding Our Future, 56 have pled guilty to their role in the scheme, and 7 others have been convicted in 2 separate trials. Back to you.
Yeah, the story continues here. All right, Bill Keller, Live Force. Thank you, Bill.
That's crazy, though, Tanil. Yeah, it's crazy. That's the guy right there. Yeah, man, they've been robbing America for a long time. If folks want making money, say they finna be busted in Ohio. But that's just the tip of it. Man, we need to get them up
In
out
this
of
first
here.
trial are accused of doing border on absurd. Prosecutors say the defendants claim to be serving meals to kids in places that make no sense, such as this big parking lot in Shakopee, or in derelict commercial spaces like this. According to court documents, the defendants created sham meal count sheets and phony attendance rosters with children names such as Man Sincere, Ron Donald, or even John Doe.
There are lots of populations like this. You want to zoom in on the Somali population, you find billion-dollar scams, you find Medicare scams, welfare scams. They all are on government housing with the $100,000 cars. I mean, you find scam after scam after scam. What do you think happens if you zoom in on the Afghan community? What do you think happens if you zoom in on the illegal South American communities?
Everybody.
What do you think happens if you zoom in on the Haiti communities? This is just, it's the spotlight is on the Somalis right now. So crimes are coming to light. Do you think it's because it's the only population doing this?
No, I think all of them.
And the more you realize just how much we're being scammed, it is truly incomprehensible. I think my brain is not capable of maintaining all of these different, I can't even think about all the scams going on at once, because it's not.
You understand that his people from Europe too. So, this goes deep. Everybody got to go, bro. What, you seen them Latino gangs coming into the country doing home? No, I didn't see that. That's crazy. Yeah, they talking like they indigenous. Man, y'all way up, man. Y'all better pack that up, man. That's the only way we're gonna claim it. Y'all gonna have to, we're gonna have to have an FBA tax, man. A tax specifically for FBA. I gotta check out what Tanir talking about. Let me let him go.
Not just the illegal immigration, which is a scam in and of itself, and then taking our jobs, and then those corporations are lobbying for the government programs that give the welfare so they can lower the pay rate that they do, and then the housing prices go up, and it's just, and then they bring in all of their family. And it's just this is just one tiny facet on the disco ball of this one little tiny frame on the many sided.
You gonna go to, buddy. Your ancestors did the same thing. Like this is. But that's the fraud there. I know in California it was a do Somali fraud. I know in California they setting up cameras and lawns pretending to be landscapers. Oh, spray, we got unwanted visitors. Where they at, man? Where they at? Oh yeah, you talking about them. But even this guy, man, Tim Waltz, bro, like definitely a scam out there. And it's always them letting them do it. But it ain't snitching when we drop a dime on the tethers. I drop a dime. They drop a dime mean, boy, ain't no more. That ain't got nothing to do with snitching, boy. That drop a dime means something different. Tim Waltz. Yeah, I spelled his name wrong in the thumbnail. Probably spelled his name Waltz. You know his name probably was Waltz Jinger, and he shortened it. Yeah, Waltz. I put a T in it. Yeah, man, it's him, bro. You the one. He's the guy. It's always a European that's behind this in the background, bro. That's him. He's setting them up, bro, putting them in play. Yeah, we need the cheap labor. They ain't gonna put they kind on the front line. They don't never do that. They gonna put in a whole nother race on the front line. That's why we got all these coaches. 10 points out for ladies too. That's why we got all these coaches here, y'all. That's what they doing. You trying to pimp the game. Minnesota government workers blame Waltz for massive fraud amid allegation against Somali community. They the fall guy. He gonna get some other ones right back in there. He gonna find another race. Yeah, he getting cuts off that money, bro. Send every immigrant back. Good. Wow. Yeah, man. It's how they work, man. We know it benefit. Ain't nothing going on that don't benefit the top. I know y'all don't know. I mean, we know that. Mm-hmm. Now everybody got to go back. That's all. Just go back to go back the way, you know what I'm saying? Salute, Khalid. These aliens and their handlers are collapsing. Praises to the FBA and the ancestors and the lineage. Facts, bro. Facts. They said on Fox News that they pirated on it. But y'all be having me cracking up in the chat, bro. I'm trying let's get the show going, man. I don't want to. Goodness, it's crazy. Minnesota won't stop the fraud. I mean, my goodness. I mean, $1 billion, bro? Golly. I mean, they knew they were doing this, bro. They been knew they were doing this. We ain't never get no power like this even the power the Somalis just got. They got their own grocery store, their own mall. Can y'all believe that, bro? They got their own mall. It was a lady say she don't got to see. She could see her doctor. Look, everybody is Somali. You put, is it bad to send the tethers back in the cage with the whites? What real solution do you think we should implement to achieve a peaceful society? Deport everybody. You know, everybody need to go to their respectable countries. But it's hard because we everywhere. I mean, we own every piece of land, so it's hard to say deport everybody because it's really our land anyway. So that'll be a tough one. That'll be a tough one. They took over all the public housing. That's what I'm saying. Black people up there pull because they can't get none of the public housing because they done got all they 80,000 people done got the Section 8, everything. No, man. They can't do that. Somali, 1 billion. 1 billion. 2026 finna be breezy. I don't know if it's finna be breezy, but if he get these people up out of here, and it'll be lowering that. I think it'll lower a lot. But they want to get that money. This is the
crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one brush.
I heard that MDE took this step to really stop feeding the kids in the middle of pandemic. My office had to do something.
In the video, Osmond tells the room how he arranged a call with the MDE commissioner about their attempts to stop new meal sites.
But I'm one of those people that push back and call it what it is, which is racist tactics. I told her this money.
Damn, look how small he look right here, and look how big he look. No, y'all eating, bro. Look, hold on. Look at him right here, and look at him right here, bro. They eating, bro. That's look like a solid, healthy dude. The first one looked like he hungry. You feel me? Now it look like Big Buddy at the top look like he eating good. Y'all don't see that? Face fatter, bro. They over there eating all the food, bro. Eating, you know, they house full of food and snacks and all kind of chips and stuff. You know how the white people used to be back in the day, man. White friends had all the snacks in their refrigerators. And they had their little closets, man. You could get the Pringles. They had everything in there. They got that EBT money, bro. He getting that EBT money, I'm telling you.
The kids in the middle of pandemic. My office had to do something.
In the video, Osmond tells the room how he arranged a call with the MDE commissioner about their
That's in 2019. This is in 2025.
attempts to stop new meal sites.
But I'm one of those people that push back and call it what it is, which is racist tactics. I told her this money is actually from the federal. Your job is to distribute fairly to the communities that deserve.
At the time he delivered this speech, Osmond's wife, Ilo Amba, was in the middle of claiming to run a meal site of her own in this small office in downtown Minneapolis that the Minnesota Attorney General in this civil complaint calls a fraudulent shell company. Public records show Amba's nonprofit Urban Advantage Services received $460,000 in reimbursements between February and November 2021.
Yes,
the AG shut it down, citing participation in the meal fraud scheme. What's more, testimony and evidence in Bach's ongoing trial has shown Osmond and Amba signed over control of a different, dormant nonprofit they founded together called Stigma Free. Osmond writing to its new board, quote, "I have seen growth during the time that I have served, and I'm confident you will continue to grow this amazing organization in my absence."
They
The
do
men
got
who took
light
over
bulb
Stigma
head.
Free are charged with using it immediately to rack up more than $13 million in meal fraud across the state.
Councilmember Osmond, you agreed to sit down with me and talk about this week.
Osmond never returned follow-up calls or texts.
Is Councilmember Jamal Osmond in the office today?
And could not be found to answer questions at City
Well,
Council
he out of there,
or
man.
at his home.
Shoot, hold on. I thought it shut off on me. Man, so y'all see it's a whole bunch of fraud going on. But I wanted y'all to check out. I had a video for us to check out. He said, brother, she married her brother. Oh my God. I've been seeing that, man. I was seeing that. Check this out. She married her brother. We finna see. We reclaiming our indigenous, man.
Imagine all of this
Salute the
diaspora
FBA,
war
man.
between
Salute to the
Black
indigenous.
Americans and Africans starting because Black Americans are understanding and waking up to their truth. The world is mad because Black Americans, whatever spell we were under, are waking up to the fact that
I see the
we
headline
weren't
right
brought
now.
here on no boats. Our ancestors weren't brought here on any boats, and we are understanding that they were here. And while the world wants to scream pretendian and disrespect, it's a gaslight because now we know the truth. In our soul and in our spirit, we always have, but now in this Aquarian age, y'all can't hide it. They cannot hide the truth. So you guys think that we are saying we don't want to be African and we have a fear of being African. No, honey. While, yeah, we have African DNA, but it's not because we were brought over here on slave ships. We migrated here long before any colonizer set foot on this land. And anyone who was here when we got here as well, we occupied this land.
Now, I'm with her in spirit, but I gotta correct her. This was listen, we got the DNA that has the longest history of existence right here in South Carolina. So that has to start with here. We don't have no evidential proof of life being nowhere other than the United States of America. This is facts, okay? So I don't know what anybody tell you. These are the facts. They could say, oh, we migrated, but they only have evidence of it being from right here, of life from coming from America, and it's from South Carolina. So I don't know what everybody thinking, what happened, or where it was at, but this where it was at. This where it was at. So I mean, we don't got to even reach no more. It's like, bro, everything is right here.
With them, this land looked, had different looks to the indigenous who were here. But do not get it twisted. It is documented that melanated people were here from the East Coast to the West Coast, occupying this land before Columbus got here. He wrote about it in his journal, amongst other people who traveled to this land and described us. You can look at the American land and you can line up the Blacks of this land, and you can see the indigenous that runs through people's blood. You cannot hide DNA. Just like we're saying, you can look at an African and tell they are African because you all have certain distinct features. You can look at certain Americans and see their indigenous ancestors, whether it is the undertone of their skin being red or the hair on their arms having a certain consistency to it, or their hair having a certain luster to it.
That's crazy.
You don't get to tell people their truths, especially when they can trace their truth back to this land. So you are mad that we no longer want to placate into the idea that our ancestors were captured and sold as slaves. While some of them were, it was not from Africa. It was right here on the soil of their ancestors. And other indigenous tribes captured them and enslaved them. And then further the history was rewritten and told that we were brought from Africa and enslaved. So you are upset that we are undiscovering a lie, and we are discovering our documented truth. This looks like it has much to do with you and nothing to really do with us. So to my Black Americans, my African Americans, my Indigenous Americans, my Aboriginal Americans, keep going deeper in your truth, because it's really not for anyone else to understand but you. Your truth is for you. And if you wish to share it, cool. But if those do not agree with your truth, that doesn't matter. As long as you know your truth and you can trace it, you don't have to scream it to the rooftop for anyone else who can't handle their own truth.
Peace to the tribe. So the top Pan-Africanist senator just found out he's an indigenous American. Y'all check this out.
I'm gonna call my uncle, and I'm gonna do a nice long interview. And here we go, right here. All right, I want everybody to know that this is my uncle Richard right here. One of my mother's favorite brother, right? And so I want to ask you something. You said something that was very good to me in there, and I didn't know. I'd be arguing with people about the Native American Indians, and I'd be saying I'm not an Indian, I'm an African. So talk to me about what you said about that.
Just
about my grandfather?
Yeah, Dad came from Long Island, further out near around Kokomo, and he was in the tribe of the Shinnecock Indian.
So my grandfather,
Native American, and he moved, married Graham, and moved into Glen Cove.
Yeah. Wow, man. I know the people. Say that again.
The Native American indigenous folks who want to be politically correct. They're not from the country of India. We are.
Now that's his granddaughter that's talking right now. That's his granddaughter, which is my cousin. That's my cousin, my second cousin right there. She's.
I hear you often talk about how Black people,
FBAs,
are
I'm the water
indigenous
man.
to this land.
Look at that. Pan-African.
I just wanted to better understand what you mean by indigenous in the sense that are you saying that there were Black people in North America before Columbus get here?
Yeah, white people said there were Black people in the Americas before Columbus. This is what white people said. Archaeologists have said this. Science says this. The oldest skeletal remains are of Black people here in the Americas. This is science. This is not opinion. This is not he said, she said. They've done archaeological research and they proved scientifically that Negroid people were on this land longer than the Mongoloid natives. This is a fact.
Got it. Thank you. Just one follow-up question.
I need to get
the
on
thing
that,
is,
that video.
I totally understand if there was some African people that crossed the Atlantic that were in the Americas. But the thing is, the question is about percentages. Like, do you think, like, there were if millions and millions of, like, if 99% of modern FBAs were shipped from West Africa? I mean, just because there was 0.005% that were, let's say, indigenous to America, it doesn't make sense to say, like,
I'm gonna check out that.
FBAs are indigenous to this land with 99.9%. When 99.9% are actually from West Africa. Like, do you think that proportion is important in this?
No, here's the thing. The percentage of people to reach North America from Africa during the slave trade, You know what the percentage is? It's 6%. 6% of the people brought from Africa. Only 6% were brought here to North America. Most of them were brought to the Caribbean. Most of them were brought to South America and Central America. But there was a very small percentage actually brought here to North America, only 6%. And it's very well documented because our arrival, it had to be insured, and it's very well documented.
No, I definitely agree that most slaves were shipped to Brazil, and only a small percent were actually shipped to North America. But the final question, I just wanted, what is your estimation and your opinion on what the percentages of modern FBAs have ancestors that were Africans that already were here previous to Columbus arriving?
That would be a very hard one to do because there were so many wars, and when the Europeans came over, they were pitting tribal groups against each other. They were wiping out tribes with diseases. So that's hard to determine the percentage. But the thing is, there's a mixture. We are a mixture. What makes us foundational Black Americans, that we're mixed with the indigenous and we're mixed with the Africans who were brought over during the slave trade. And then we had an ethnogenesis. So we became a whole new ethnic group. And that ethnic group was the foundation of the United States, making our ethnic group indigenous to the United States.
Look, y'all hit that
because
like
we're
button
the
for me.
first ethnic group of what would become the United States. Who built it? We built this thing from scratch. So that makes us indigenous.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up that
Unlike the
interview.
Europeans who came from somewhere else, we were created here. Our ethnogenesis is here.
If this is not proof that Black Americans have American Indian Native roots, then I don't know what is. This is a slave narrative of Walter Him, and he says that they give us chitlins and lye hominy. Check this out.
By hand, and lime is purchased in the local market. The lime is fired with hot water before use. The maize is mixed with water and lime and cooked for an hour or so, depending on how hard the kernels are, using either gas or even fire. The maize is then
Man, salute to all the new subscribers and everybody who been holding me down, man, since my battles with YouTube, bro. But salute to everybody for, staying down with.
steeped for 14 to 16 hours to create the finished product called nixtamal. The nixtamal is then ground by hand using a metate, a pre-Hispanic grindstone made of volcanic rock, or milled in the local millers, which is most popular nowadays. Water is added to fresh nixtamal to create masa or maize dough, which is then formed into tortillas, either by hand or in a tortilla press.
There are literally hundreds of enslaved narratives where the enslaved people are discussing how they use the nixtamalization process to make the lye hominy, as you can see here. I can show you guys so many of these records of them discussing this lye hominy that requires the nixtamalization process. George Washington Carver even sold lye hominy when he was in college to other students. George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass all talk about their families making lye hominy and having salted pork as the only thing that was available to them when they were living enslaved on the plantations. Now, nixtamalization is vital to getting the nutrients that are not bioavailable in the corn. Now, this is something that when corn was used around the world, people were not aware of. And one place where the people were not aware that this was necessary to get all the nutrients out the corn was, you guessed it, Africa. Without the nixtamalization process, people developed pellagra. And this is what happened in Africa once corn was introduced there. They were not using the nixtamalization process, so they developed the 4 Ds: diarrhea, dermatitis, dementia, and even death. Till this day, many African nations do not use the nixtamalization process when making corn and still are developing pellagra. But catch this, during the early 1900s, while George Washington Carver was selling his lye hominy to other college students using the nixtamalization process, white Americans thought they outsmarted our primitive nixtamalization process and started using mills to process corn. Of course, without the nixtamalization process, there's not the right nutrients coming out of the corn, so you can't sustain a healthy lifestyle, and many people developed pellagra. So this whole time, a staple food in the Black American community, grits and cornbread, literally comes from our American Indian roots. Who would have known?
Did you know one
Get
of the
my
biggest
take
clues
on it.
about who the so-called African Americans really are is all in the language? Let me explain. When Europeans first arrive in places like Virginia, the Carolinas, and Georgia, they noticed something they couldn't explain and something they later tried to hide. The dark-skinned people they wanted to label as Negro, mulatto, or colored, they already spoke native languages fluently.
Man, cornbread.
Algonquian, Powhatan,
Corn is not a good
Arawak,
thing to break
even
down.
regional trade dialects. So tell me, how does someone fresh off a ship suddenly speak the exact indigenous tongue of the land that they supposedly just arrived in? They don't. That doesn't make sense. Because these...
All right, y'all, we finna get to the interview with Don B, though. But, man, I appreciate, man, every time y'all showing up for the lives and being tapped in. I appreciate every one of y'all. Just want to let y'all know how much I appreciate y'all tapping in with me and kicking it with your boy. But listen, I'm finna get into this. I'm finna get into the show that everybody talking about. They talking about Don B. I seen it too, and I wanted to do a review on it, but I think this is better, man. For real, y'all been holding me down, bro. I appreciate all y'all, for real. Black American Respond. Y'all like my digital family, man. Digital family. Check it out.
Funny
Let's get
guys, man.
Funny guys.
Funny guys, man. But I appreciate them coming here because
It
it's
made you
important
mad,
for
Mickey?
African Americans. What did I say earlier? What I called? I said, what was it?
Chat.
You said something crazy.
FBAA, Foundational Black African Americans. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I got them, and I'm the leader. That's what we doing.
Why this man wanna
Here we
keep
go,
listening?
man. Let me bring up
Listen,
sincere
y'all,
love
I
to
know
God.
y'all told me this, and this was good, but I can't go 5 minutes without somebody trying to attach African to something, bro. You get what I'm saying? Oh man, salute, bro. I be trying to give y'all real quality stuff, man, for real though. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Really,
Man, sincere love to God. What it do, brother? How you doing, brother?
Peace.
get
I'm
water
in the
by
building.
face
How you
on
doing?
that when you hear
Hey,
that.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. And let me bring up Dr. Asar Winkler. Peace and love to you, Dr. Asar. How are you?
Blessings. I'm wonderful. Thanks
Our
for asking.
enemies, bro.
How you doing, Dr. Saw? I
Peace,
see you
peace.
got the funny outfit on. That's what my man said. He said you the guy with the funny outfit on.
Oh, that's
I'm
what
the guy.
Who said that? Who said that?
Oh, my man right here to help, to back up. Funny. That's just
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Hold on. Let me bring him up. Brother Dewan. Brother Dewan, don't pay them no mind. They trying to start trouble all.
Now, Dewan, I mess with him 1,000. He be speaking that real, man. That's a solid one
Already.
right there.
Brother Dewan, don't pay them no mind. They trying to start trouble already.
Nice,
Ready.
first
Peace and
spot.
love to you, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I see Fraggle Rock over there trying to throw shots, but hey, that's what happens when you got a Nerf gun. You got to keep shooting because nothing lands. Let's go.
Y'all funny. But sincere, I want you to just kind of recap. I'm a defer to you, brother, and just to recap, what made you reach out? Remember, you inboxed me. You said, "Hey, we need to talk." And if you could just walk us back through what you were thinking, what you were feeling when you reached out, and then from your lens, what transpired when we talked on the telephone.
Yes, indeed. So, like you said, I had a chance to watch the video that you did, what you guys did, the interview with Professor James Small.
Much love, Tia. Been holding me down.
Just to give the whole chronological order of everything, I had spoke to Professor Smalls earlier that day, and we were discussing him appearing on my platform on Sincere Love the Godcast. And
get my water.
It was supposed to be the following day. So I think that was on a Sunday, and we were supposed to have our thing the following day on that Monday. And so, he was a little busy while I was on the phone with him. I think he was picking up his grandkids or something like that was going on. So he was like, yo, I'll talk to you a little bit later. We'll get all the details hashed out. Cool. So me and Nicey had our regular Sunday broadcast like we do. And during the broadcast, people were in the chat saying, oh, Professor Smalls is live right now because people knew that people were expecting Professor Smalls to be on our platform because we were kind of promoting it, and we had like a poll going, fielding questions from the community to see what questions people wanted us to ask the professor and things like that. So people were in the chat, even though that wasn't our topic. People were in the chat asking, "Yo, when y'all gonna have Professor Smalls on? When y'all gonna have Professor Smalls on?" And then, you know, they let us know that he was live on your channel.
I'm hungry now too, for real.
And so, if you look at my video, when they told me he was live on your channel, I was like, "Oh, that's dope. That should be a great conversation right there." You know what I'm saying? Because you're one of the people that I had in mind when I was thinking about who could we bring on to have a balanced conversation about this. You were one of the people that I had in mind, but I kind of, you know, just let it go out of my mind because I was like, you know, Dr. Ma'a, if she wants to have a conversation with him, she can reach out to him herself and have him on her show. So I was like, nah, you know, I kind of let it go from there. So when they said, yeah, he's on Dr. Ma'at's channel now, I'm like, oh, that's dope. I can't wait to see that. That should be a good conversation because I know Dr. Ma'at is fair. She's balanced. You know, she's a stomp down Pan-Africanist, but she also understands the purpose of this whole delineation movement and all that. You know what I'm saying? She stands 10 toes down. You know, she doesn't see the contradiction. So this should be a good conversation. She should be able to explain it well and get some clarity. Right? That was my thoughts. And so then when I finally got a chance to look at it, after I did my live, I got a chance to look at it. I didn't see that balance. I'll say that. I didn't see that balance there. Like I told you on the phone, I felt like, you know, you guys just kind of threw some softballs at the professor and let him just say whatever he was going to say about what transpired. And that's cool if that's how you decide to go about it. I didn't really have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It's your channel. You go about it the way that you see fit. That's fine.
They're going to explain a little bit here.
But then when my name came up, he brought my name up because he mentioned that he had planned on coming on my platform or whatever. The energy kind of changed, and you know, you took some shots at me. You know what I'm saying? Because you were I'll let you explain how you were feeling, but from my understanding, you were upset about some of the titles that you seen because we did 2 back-to-back broadcasts talking about the Professor James situation on our channel, and you know, you didn't like how we framed the situation, and so you know, you took some shots at me. You said some things or whatever, and I'm like, really, Dr. Ma'at? You know, because we've had cordial relationship in the past, you know, respect for one another. We've chatted behind the scenes, you know, supported each other, different endeavors or whatever. And so I'm like, damn, Dr. Ma'at, she couldn't have watched the video. There's no way she watched the video and she feeling that way. So this is a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm gonna reach out to her. I ain't gonna go live and do a response and back or do none of that. Let me reach out to her so we could clear some of this up. And so that's what I did. I inboxed you, sent you my number and all of that. And the next day you gave me a call. You had the brother Unc on the phone with you, which, you know, I kind of understand why you did that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't understand. You probably didn't know what kind of energy I was coming with. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, you a woman. So, you know, it's good that you have a brother there that's willing to, you know, be that protection for you if need be. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like while me and you were trying to have a constructive conversation, Brother Unc, you was being very disruptive on the phone.
I want y'all to help me out. Are all of these Pan-Africanism except for Dewan? Is all of them Pan-Africanism except for Dewan B? Who else is like just standing on FBA business up here? Is it just Dewan B? Y'all let me know in the chat.
Trying to derail the conversation and kind of low-key trolling on the phone, which is weird to me. It's one thing, you know, to be a troll online, but we on the phone having a private conversation, and you kind of trolling. You know, I thought that was weird. You know, to me, like I said, I understand why you was there in the first place, but I think once you seen that it was going to be a respectful dialogue, that you should have just kind of fell back at that point because it wasn't about you. I wasn't there to address you about anything. I didn't have no issue
in the dark blue
about anything, but you kept kind of centering yourself, and that's how things kind of went on the phone. But at the end of the day, you know, it didn't go crazy left. You know what I'm saying? We still came to some type of understanding between me and you, Dr. Ma'at. We showed respect to one another.
Bro.
You acknowledged what you felt like you needed to own on your end. You know, I told you I could understand, you know, why you felt the way you felt based on the way I framed, you know, our videos and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I also explained my full intentions and where I was coming from, and I encouraged you to actually watch the video so you could see for yourself that we actually showed respect, even though we were critiquing the professor. We did it in the most respectful manner that, you know, I know how to do. And then, you said, you know what, let's do a joint broadcast together and build on it. And so here we are.
Okay. All right. And I think that what you just conveyed to the audience was pretty accurate. But a lot of you all, and I know that people say, oh, she didn't push back on what Professor James Small said. She didn't give him any pushback. Having him on, it wasn't about giving him pushback. It was about affording him the opportunity to give context and clarity to what he was saying. It wasn't about me trying to debate him or challenge him. It was, hey, these videos are circulating around about you. These are clips, so if you notice, and this is what I mean, and I'm not talking about anybody on this panel right now when I say this. A lot of times, and Dr. Assar would tell you, we have conversations about critical thinking and listening comprehension. And a lot of times a lot of our people, what ends up happening is we don't think. A lot of us, we struggle with thinking, let alone to critically think. And then we have very weak listening comprehension, right? And so anyone who was really listening to that will say, hey, you would conclude that was my objective. I didn't say that that's what I was doing. But if you listen to my line of questioning, right? My line of questioning, and you actually understood it, then you would say, okay, this sister brought him on to bring clarity, to bring context. Here are some clips that are floating around about you. One clip is saying that you called Tariq a CIA agent. Another one is that you said FBA is a CIA operation. Another clip, they have you talking about the African-American identity. Another clip, they got you banging on continental Africans. What was going on? Give us some clarity. Give us some context surrounding these clips. So that was the whole objective of me bringing Professor James Small on the platform. It wasn't to debate him. It wasn't to challenge him. It was, hey, this is what's out there about you. Can you tell us how you feel, what you think, what were you trying to get across? And that's what it was about. So it wasn't, I'm not bringing on the elder to be combative with the elder or to be, I'm not doing that. I'll bring the elder on, and the purpose of me bringing an elder on, or this particular elder, was for clarity and context. That was all it was. It wasn't to battle him in any way. I think the internet did enough of that. Actually, over the past couple of days, with the amount of videos that I saw circulating about Professor James Small. So I do agree with you that whatever, how you describe the conversation, that's exactly, how it went. Brother, what are your thoughts? Can you weigh in on what you were thinking transpired when we were on the phone?
Yeah, they call me Bobby Rage Beta.
Here we go.
Super troll. Because I'm thinking these two brothers' conversation, they trolling us the whole time. They got to be trolling. They got to be rage baiting us when they say that African Americans, right, ain't who they really is, and that indigenous black people was here first and didn't come from Africa. I'm thinking y'all trolling. So the conversation we had was very lighthearted and very fun. You just a little bit too serious, Sincere. You real serious, right? But at the end of the day, you should get more serious with your studies. It's not hard to figure out who African Americans are. So in that conversation, I'm only doing what y'all doing. I'm bringing the same energy everybody bringing me. So when y'all online making up stuff about who African Americans is, I'm saying they got to be trolling because it's a click away. Seriously. So that go for both of y'all. Y'all trolling us all day, every day. Every broadcast y'all do is filled with misinformation. Now, Doc, she like to play the game. I'm not doing none of that.
I don't play the game. What do you mean by play the game?
I'm saying like it's something like they out to get what they want to get. So I just like to get straight to it. What they want to get to is to prove the FBA is some kind of standard in academics and will give us clarity on who we are, and we better fight back. I'm saying that's nonsense. That has nothing to do with our friendships, how they're going to develop. But I just like to get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Sincere, listen, man, we cool, bro. This is just a conversation. When we was on the phone, bro, I was doing what I felt like I needed to do. You came off with the little tough guy energy a little bit to the sister, right? And now I understand that you're just a serious dude. until it comes to them studies. But your conversation, you serious, you wasn't disrespectful. You was a little bit, you handled her a little bit rough for me. So that's why I came the way I came. That's all I'm saying, bro. So yeah, I like to have fun. My man in the bottom left, he really like to have fun. He said a lot of stuff. So my conversation today is going to be
what you just said. I said though, didn't say that.
I'm gonna go through the clips. I got y'all clipped up. I'm gonna speak through the clips.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's weird.
And then let me say this. I don't know what you mean first and foremost about playing the game. That's the first thing.
No, you do the right things. What I'm saying is,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that part. You talking about playing the game and all that.
No. I'm saying everybody can't be an ad. Let me change the verbiage on that. I'm saying you're cordial.
I am.
And that's proper to do. I'm saying I'm not cordial. Once everybody done said everything out their mouth, after he didn't beat up James Smalls for an hour and a half, he did it respectfully, but he beat the brakes off of James Smalls. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like he didn't do that. He did that.
Well, I didn't never say that he didn't do it either.
Right. So I'm just in that. I'm in that mode. I ain't yelling, I ain't screaming, and I just want to get straight to it because I heard both of y'all said I heard it. So I just
all right, well, I want to say this though, but brother Sincere, you said I owned it. Will you let the crowd know that you also own the fact that you put Professor James Smalls' image on a thumbnail and you put in quotes, FBA equals CIA operation. And you said initially you thought that you put a question mark. And I said, no, brother, you actually have his thumbnail. You have a thumbnail with his image in it. And in quotes, you have FBI equals CIA agent, as if that is a direct quote. And then you said, first you said, I thought it was a question. I said, no, it wasn't a question mark. Then you said, well, that was my interpretation of what he said. Could you explain that or elaborate on that?
Right. So correct. You were talking about the thumbnail. I was talking about the title. So in the title, I posed it as a question. On the thumbnail, there's no question mark, and I do have it in quotations, which you're correct. It's not a direct quote. He didn't directly say FBA is CIA. He implied it in so many words, and so I had it in quotes, and so that wasn't right and exact to put it in quotes. It wasn't a verbatim quote from him, but that was my interpretation of what he said.
Okay. All right, brother Dewan, what are your thoughts on everything? Because I did hear Brother Sincere said that you did a reaction video. And so what are your thoughts, brother, about just the conversation that was had? And so just share with us your thoughts, your feelings about it.
Okay, yeah, my feelings on my reaction video, I made I have people saying that, of course, they were saying that you didn't react the way they wanted them to. And I didn't say anything about your performance because I know as a host, the job as a host is to step back and allow the conversation to flow.
That's right.
So I thought that you did a fantastic job hosting. I didn't throw any shots, where I thought, well, she should have jumped in. Well, she's a host. She's not going to jump in, So the way you played that, I really didn't have anything to say. Basically, what I did have to say is like the brother right here, is a straw arguments. Like you just saw, even just now in this intro, he's trying to say that I'm saying that we're not African, we're FBA instead. I said none of the sort. I said you got to trace your own genealogy and your own family lineage. There are people who come from Africa. There are people who are indigenous here. Everyone is telling the truth. But what happens is, like, my issue was during the reply, I was throwing in straw arguments, post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacies. He was throwing in every fallacy you can throw in, and he's throwing a fallacy out there and saying, I'm going to talk about the fallacy, not what they said. And then the whole situation about us not being able to read, we don't know our history. I can literally name 15 ancestors by name that was here in 1668. So I don't, and the full genealogy and everything to go along with it. My ancestor John Smith, PG County, born in Prince George's County in 1640. So when I heard the straw arguments, that was more so my issue when it came to the FBA, because when it comes to the FBA, look, I'm the kind of person, Tariq can defend himself. He do a great job defending himself.
Always, he does.
My job ain't to defend Tariq. My job is to stand up for who I am. And I don't really get into the verbiage FBA versus
I'm tired of y'all like, oh, bro, we standing up for our lineage and what our people is. That's how I see it. They keep throwing us and mixing us for what Tyreek doing all the time, and we just trying to stand up for our people. FBA, y'all know how we do though.
ADOS versus it, whatever people want to call themselves. Even if people want to call themselves African American, I don't care. You know, it's not my problem. You call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But when it comes down to the lineage of FBA, the whole trying to group people as following Tariq Nasheed and Tariq got these people under a spell. No, Tariq ain't got me a spell. One thing I was saying was I was never that much in my family history, 15 years ago. My wife was really on my head about DeWine. You got to get in your family history. DeWine, you got to get in your family history. And so I had already started studying my family history. So when Tariq started with the FBA thing, it was almost like right on time because I'm thinking like, yo, because I used to call Africa this, Africa that. And then I was like, hold on. My great granddaddy invented the automatic railroad crossing. Every time you get to a stop sign and that arm comes down because the train is coming, my great granddaddy invented that. He got the patent for that. That was stolen by these crackers. You know what I mean? My roots are here. Like he talked about scholarship. One of my cousins wrote a book about my family leaving Northampton County, Virginia in 1835 and moving to Indiana as free Black people. You know, I have long histories of my free Black family, also my enslaved Black family. Now, if someone wants to go all the way back to Africa with their family lineage, that's fine. Again, I have no issues with what nobody says. But when it comes to the FBA thing, people like me, and I'm someone that people come to on my YouTube channel to hear this kind of information, my point of view has always been, look, I've just broke it down to a logical question. Which ancestors are closest to me? The ones I knew or the ones that didn't experience what I experienced? So my point of view on FBA/ADOS or whatever acronym you want to give,
right,
is tuning in to the ancestors that were here. You know what I mean? That were born here, that were raised here, that went under the trauma here. So I hear someone saying, "Oh, they stupid, they don't know how to read, and they following Tariq Nasheed." Y'all that's giving Tariq way too much power.
Way too much.
He put on a certain notion, but that notion was something people like me were already on, based on my own family lineage, based on me making a choice. I don't like so far. I can't trace anybody to Africa yet. I'm not saying that Africans don't exist, but I have in my genealogy, I have hundreds of ancestors, hundreds with an S. None are from Africa. All of them here in the United States of America, on paper back to the year 1640. So when I hear, my thing is, a lot of people to be who they are, and if people want to claim whatever they want to claim, but when you try to group everybody and throw out a star argument and say that's what these brothers are saying, okay, that works on stupid people. It don't work on me. And that's basically what I was what I was saying in my point of view. But outside of that, people have their own way, and I'm not here to tell anybody how they should think or shouldn't think, or one thought is one ideology is more dominant over the other ideology. People got to follow their own conviction. People got to follow their own lineage, their own paperwork, and their own information.
Well, brother, I think that was beautifully said. And I don't disagree with, and let me say this, I don't disagree with us wanting to trace our family history. In fact, that's why I kind of cut my camera off. And I started my cousin Benny, peace be upon his soul. He traced my family tree. I don't know if you all see Francis Webb tree on both sides. My grandmother, Evelina Francis, and then my grandfather, Charlie Webb, my great-great-great-grandfather, and then who their parents were. So far, we've gotten all the way back to 1804 and 1805. I'm actually getting ready to take a trip down to Charleston, South Carolina, to dig through the records to go beyond 1804 and 1805. So I'm all for, trust me when I tell you, I'm all for honoring, my heritage here. Absolutely. And I also honor my African heritage. I do. I understand ultimately that.
What do you know about your African
and I took a DNA test, and I know we're going to get into that because some of y'all be like, I don't take the DNA test. But I took a DNA test. DNA test came back 96% Sub-Saharan African, 73% West African. I'm clear on that. trace my mitochondrial DNA back to the Bamaliki people of Cameroon. My father's Y chromosome goes back to the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Now this is DNA. So far, the African American lineage goes all the way back to 1804 and 1805,
Right,
and we know that we can trace it further beyond that. I just want to get the records. So I'm all for honoring our ancestors here. We have a culture here that we have created. We have a great history here
How that makes sense?
that we have created.
Make it
We
make
had
sense.
one of the greatest, and I don't want to say the greatest, but we have some great ancestors here. We stand on their shoulders, the Harriet Tubmans, the Nat Turners. Come on, you know, the Fred Hamptons, the Assata Shakur, Malcolm X, Dr. King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, Booker T. Washington, Carter G. Woodson. We stand on a great legacy here. So I'm all about that. And I think it's a misconception amongst some of our people that if you subscribe to Pan-Africanists, that you just don't care about Black American history. That is such such a misconception about Pan-Africanism. When people say stuff like that, I'm like, y'all don't even really understand what Pan-Africanism is. All right, you really don't understand what it is. So I identify not only as a Black American or African American, but the ideology that I subscribe to is Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. And I agree with Professor James Small that there is no contradiction. It is no contradiction. But beautifully said, brother Dewan. Brother Onk, that you want to respond? I see you making some faces. Somebody want to get in? I'm sorry. Who wanted to get in?
I just want to say really quick. I know you want to pass the mic off. I just want to say really quick. What both of y'all just broke down is basically the same thing. And nobody that I know who is serious that speaks on this type of conversation around our lineage and all of that says anything contrary to what either one of y'all just said. I don't know anyone who disagrees with that.
Okay.
I'm with you, Sincere.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I don't agree with what he just said. He just double talk flim this real quick. Basically, what he's saying is that he can't find no ancestors in Africa. That's crazy. First of all, you're not going to find one person like you do in America. There's two different things right there. Since we was part of the transcontinental slave trade, we lost that part right there. We don't know what tribe or clan we came from. We will never recover that. DNA does not specify tribe. So you're not going to find your aunt Kuba Dudu, right, from somewhere in Kenya. You're not going to do that. So we should not expect that. What I'm saying is,
you can find records to when they got off the ship.
I didn't cut you off though. What I didn't do was cut you off.
You can find
let's keep it nice and smooth and groovy, because I like to go back and forth like that. But I'm not doing that. Let me finish my point, and I promise you not to be long with it, and I'll keep it smooth and groovy. Bet. What I'm saying is that African Americans will carry about 60 to 70% continental African DNA, and then about 20, maybe 30% Europeans, and then a small percentage of the part that you really want to pick up, that Native American. But my fault, I apologize. You're not actually big up in Native American. You have this wild concept about some indigenous Black people that does not exist in the Americas. I'll rest my case right there.
So I have a question. One of my ancestors, his name is Abraham, and on the records in 1715, he was born Abraham, man of color Scott, and he married Joan, a Native American Potawatomi Took, and the Potawatomi tribe goes back for thousands of years here in America. So if I have a man listed as Native as man of color, who none of his roles show anywhere that he was imported, because as a matter of fact, he was born in Prince George's County. No records showing where he came from. It's showing that he was born here in America, and he was married a registered Potawatomi, and his description is man of color. And then when in the Webster's Dictionary of 1828 says American is the copper-colored individuals found here by the Americans, by the European upon arrival. When Ben Franklin in 1751 say the people of the America are part Tawny and Swarthy, these things, we're supposed to just discount that? And from both family history and also from written history, the description of an American was copper colored. And so what am I supposed to do with that information?
Dr. Saul wanted to get on that too. He wanted to get on the action too.
No, I mean, I'm just wondering with that question. I mean, I think when we look at these things, we have to really look at what we're saying here. I think Unc is right and exact. But I want to introduce some nuance, and I also want to introduce generalizations versus what is typical. So, my question is: do you believe that is the norm, or that is the majority of the population, the people you call FBAs, that is their historical lineage, and they didn't have any type of African? Let me say that most people didn't have African ancestry before now.
First off, my question wasn't answered.
No, I'm saying I'm asking you the question.
I want to answer his question. I get your point real quick. So no, Africans that was brought from Africa did marry into some indigenous tribes, and you have every right to big up your 1.2% ancestor all day, every day. You can go ahead and dig up. You can big up the toenail. Go ahead. It's all good. Not mad at you.
Hundreds.
Your ancestry.
Hundreds
I'm just making a point. I'm trying to show you that the Negro married into some indigenous people family. And I'm saying you're well within your right to do that. You can big up that. But don't get it twisted as if I thought you was trying to say that particular guy was some kind of way. And see, when we hear copper in this space, we know that there is some flim flammery going. The copper color, like that's full of nonsense right there. So when you say that, it's triggering. So my answer to you is that person that you talking about married into an indigenous native population having absolutely nothing to do with indigenous Africans. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, when I trace Abraham, man of color, Scott lineage back, I can tell you his parents was born here. I keep going back, and I see people born here in America during the time of the colonial period. No records showing anyone got off any kind of a slave ship. As a matter of fact, Francis, man of color, Scott was never even enslaved. He was a free man in 1715. And so that's why in my family I have so many records, because I have a half on my mom's side. I have so many people who were never enslaved.
Now, I agree with you though.
Yeah,
we all agree with you on that.
But hold on, I want my question answered. I want you to answer my question. Do you believe that is the majority of people that call themselves FBA's lineage story?
I believe that first. I tried, like I said before. I say everyone got to follow their own. But when I look, I'm answering your question. Yes, I do believe a lot of Black Americans have that story.
I said majority. I said majority. I want to know if that's the norm. The majority.
Less than 400,000 people were imported between 1619 and 1808. Less than 400,000 people were imported. So my opinion, yes, is yes. Most people actually have this story if they actually go back and look up their history.
So you.
That's my opinion. I don't know.
Okay,
I can't tell you for sure.
Okay, so you're under the opinion that most of us here was never on the African continent.
I can't say. I didn't say never. Look,
no. I'm asking real genuine questions here.
No, I'm giving you a genuine answer.
Yeah, I'm talking to the brother in the right hand corner.
I'm giving you a genuine answer. There were 600. Like, we've been Homo sapiens for over 150,000 years, probably longer than that. Circumnavigating the globe. I'm sure at some point somebody lived in Africa.
No,
when is I don't know.
There you go. We got them. There you go.
People been majority,
and that's where I delineate. You know, I delineate from that mindset
up into the 80s.
And
90s.
what I also want to posit, just my opening is
what mindset? What mindset, Doc? Be clear. Can you clear that up? You said I delineate from the mindset.
I'm coming, Doc. I'm coming. The mindset that FBA is not ideology, and FBA to me, FBA is an identity. It is an identity with an ideology put behind it. And what do I mean? But I want really to think about this, because FBA is a subgroup of African American, because you can't separate it. It is a subgroup of African American who has a certain ideological understanding that they were here, all the things he believes, which is not scientifically supported.
Yes, it is.
So all those ideas, and then also on top of that, the part that I disagree with the most is that we can act like we don't know all the throwing your rocks and hiding your hand stuff that's going on. But if you act like that doesn't exist. You can say, well, most of the people that have sane minds don't say these things. Well, if there's a lot of them and they all represent FBA, and if you and they have these same old talking points, which is a part of their ideology, and like Brother Uncle saying, it's slippery until you start asking questions. So you ask the questions and let them. I'm not talking to you, Dr. I'm just saying in general, they'll tell you what they believe.
Let me respond
All
to
I
that.
said is I don't know when they came. I come look my
Your
background.
opinion, I mean, I respect you. I respect what you said.
Yeah, I respect because they, like you said, they was always here though. You actually have a native population that didn't come from the slave ship. No one's. I hope you don't think we're arguing about that, bro.
No, I respect what he said and how you answered with honesty and everything.
Yeah, but that means you don't understand something. I got to get straight to it.
I'm gonna be very humble and honest in the fact that as old and long as this earth is,
Mickey.
I'm sure I don't know 99% of what happened on earth because it's too much to explain. That's why I tell people that you have to go through your own genealogy, and you have to come at this from your point of view, because explaining what's out there, that will require 15,000 PhDs, and I ain't got one. I only got a BA. I ain't got a PA. I ain't got 10,000 PhDs. But I tell you this, during my music research history, the more I go into my research on our Black American music, the more I find common bonds with America than I do Africa. And I mean 20 to 1. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, can I jump in here?
Yeah, I hear you.
Please.
Yeah, please do, sincere.
I just want to say, because there's a lot of I guess contention around the idea of Black people being indigenous to the Americas.
Right.
And so I kind of want to throw that argument out. To me, that's a non sequitur. Whether Black people were indigenous or not has nothing to do with whether foundational Black Americans are unique lineage or not. Whether there were Black people, let's just say hypothetically that all the Black people here are only here because they came off of a slave ship at some point. Before the slave ships got here, there were no Black people here, and all of us. Only reason why Black people are in America today is because of the transatlantic slave trade. Let's just say that that's a fact, right? We still had an ethnogenesis from then till now, where we became a new ethnic group, where we're not just the same culture, heritage, historical, experience as the rest of the diaspora. We still are a unique group unto ourselves, and that's all that we're saying when we say FBA. Now, you got some people who do the history and get into the indigenous part and all of that stuff, and that's fine. But I'm saying, regardless to that, we're still a unique ethnic group, and that's all that we're saying.
And since he loved the God, I just want to say this: none of us on this panel disagree with us being a unique ethnic group with a unique culture and a unique history. So we nobody's on this platform is disagreeing with that.
That's why I say y'all trolling. Because the experts say exactly what you just said. We are ethnogenesis. You get my point, sincere? Sincere. I be thinking y'all be tripping because that's exactly what the scientific data says. That African Americans, right, have different signatures in their DNA than indigenous Africans. So you can take an indigenous African and take an African American, map their genome and say that's the African American and that's the Nigerian. Just like that, easy work. So why would we, remember Doc, I said earlier, why would we even doing this? They got to be trolling me because I don't care what you call yourself. But when you get into the scientific studies and the pseudo-scientific history of something, that's when I gotta say, hold on, bro, because I'm charged with teaching a generation of African Americans, right? Scientific literacy. Ask about me. That's the leader right there, Dr. Oyamayat. We got a whole group, pseudo killers, dedicated to killing pseudoism. Y'all got in the radar, right? When y'all started the pseudo archaeological history. You know what I'm saying? Like, you jump out there with why don't you just say it? Did you really think that there's an indigenous Black people? Just say it. That way, if you say it, we can figure out how much you off and we can fix it. No problem. This ain't thinking you know everything. I'm saying it's in the daggone literature for all, what I say, foundational Black African Americans. And I'm the leader. All right. I'm the leader. right?
Oh, there you go.
It's there for all of us to have. I'm having fun though. I'm having fun, but come on, bro, it's right there for us, yo.
To be clear, in my opinion, yes, I do believe that there were already black people here. But what I'm saying is that's neither here nor there. And if none of you all disagree with what I said, I don't see what the problem is.
I agree with nuance.
That's really all that anybody is saying.
No, I agree with nuance. See, the problem is I have no issue with any of that, even your belief system. If it, whether or not it's scientifically accurate or not, if you want to believe that African Americans started here, have it. But what my thing is, there's other parts of the ideology, and we can't just throw it away like you said, dear brother. We can't just say throw it away. See, again, that's hot. That's hot in your hands and throwing rocks. Not necessarily you, because I do believe that sincere has some sincerity. And the reality, but what I'm saying is there's other people out here, just like my dear brother, and I believe he's sincere in this conversation. What I'm saying is we can't act like these stories aren't being narrated because they're trying to not just delineate, but to say we're not African at all. And there's nothing that you can do to prove that it goes against all scientific thought, all scientific evidence. It goes against everything. So everything that people say, even though you might not say it, they're saying it to build an argument. Nothing is being said that is not political. This is a socio-political movement.
The address on that? Who says that?
Who says what?
Who says that none of us are African? We never ever been to Africa.
There's too many people to say that, brother.
I'll tell you who says that. I'll tell you who says that. Dane Calloway says it. And Dane Calloway feels the same way about FBA that you guys feel about FBA.
Right.
How about that?
That's FBA, my homies. I can go call my homies out if I wanted to.
But I'm saying
I heard Dougie Diamonds even. Let me call Dougie Diamonds out. Let me call Dougie Diamonds out. Dougie Diamonds says, look, my grandmother told me I'm from here. This argument happens all day. You know, my great aunt, she said we was here. Like, you gotta tell me that
what I'm saying is
foolery. You have got to have heard this foolery. And what I'm saying is, look, the only problem I got is you're acting like you don't hear this stupidity. And if you act like you don't hear this stupidity, I start the question. We cannot act like, look, Tariq Nasheed, I'm not as kind to Tariq Nasheed because I understand he's a mastermind. And look, we can't act like Tariq Nasheed doesn't say these points and people are parroting it.
This guy really wants you to claim and say that you're an African without having any ties that you know from anybody that you want some outside person to tell you from Africa or the government. That's crazy.
I've never heard Tariq say that. I've never heard
him say what? Never heard him say what?
You guys, that's the part that's part of the reason why I was tripping on my show. I was like, Tariq and Dane Calloway don't get along. You guys don't get along with FBA, but Dane Calloway is the one that says we were never here.
No, I'm telling you, Dane Calloway is.
I'm saying, but he doesn't like the whole. He feels the same way about FBA and the delineation movement as you guys do. Y'all guys agree with Dane Calloway, but Dane Calloway says that we've never been here. I'm saying I don't know when we came.
Whatever it takes.
We don't.
I don't agree with Dane Calloway.
No, not you. I'm not saying these two are saying that everything that's said about FBA is everything Dane Calloway says about FBA. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
Dwan.
I don't listen to Dane Calloway,
homie.
Dwan, listen, Dan Calloway, we caught him. He run from me 100 miles an hour.
All I'm
saying, talk to me. Listen. We've been finished his career. I can't believe people be listening to him.
All I am saying is you cannot act as if there's a lot of look. I'm on internet all day. I'm on the internet all day, and what happens is there's variation of this thought, and there's some people that say we've never been here. Some people that say, well, we had an ethnogenesis. It's a variety of babble that's going on. I mean, it's a whole.
We on this FBA that's on code though. If FBA on code, bro, they off limit. We won't talk bad about FBA. Period.
Whole language that comes with this identity. My argument is this is an identity with an ideology. Is not this pure lineage. And if you act like it isn't, then this is my question. This is what I'm questioning. You cannot say it doesn't have a ideology. It does. and that's why it would never be all African Americans. I mean, people know what African American mean when they say African American anyhow.
Not true.
Well, I do think there's some nuance there, but for the most part,
okay.
For the most part, when people say African American, they're talking about you, Brother Unc, Dr. Mayat, and my dear brother on the bottom.
If that's true, then how is it the case, and this is a fact, how is it the case that the guy that just became elected the mayor of New York City, Mondami or whatever his name is, how did he get into school, registered some type, whatever scholarship he had as an African American? He got in on the African American scholarship. How do you do that?
I didn't say that. I said most people when they think about.
I can explain it.
But when most people think about.
The reason why.
That's a different argument. That's a different argument. What I am saying is.
It kills what you just said. You just said it's already understood what an African American is.
No. I said, hold up. Clarify. Hold on. Let me talk. I said most people. Let's qualify this. I said when most people hear the term African American, they think of you.
Okay, and that's how the finesse works, though. Because a lot of times when we all this time when we heard the term African American, we thought they was talking about us. We didn't think they was talking about Mondami.
Now let's
debate that point. Elon Musk. Right.
We didn't think that all these other people were included.
Well, let's debate that point first, though.
Hold on, let me explain. So this is how we came to the delineation. This is how we came to getting real specific about who we're talking about. This is why the term foundational.
Are you debating my argument?
This is how.
No. Are you debating my argument? If debate my argument, then go on and teach. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's what I'm saying. You're just saying something for nothing. Are you saying that most people who think about African American, the term African American, don't think about you? You gotta debate the argument.
This is about business. This ain't about
right. Okay, let me clear this up real quick. The man from New York City
got to cosplay as us under the term African American.
Hold on for a minute. The man,
they moved in at FBA.
Hold on for a minute. The man from New York City, right? Or let's just take a Nigerian, right? Basically, they could never ethnically be an African American, and nobody debates that. I'm gonna say it again. Ethnically, they do not have shared experiences, and they did not come by way of the slave trade. This is an academic document. This is in academics. So anybody that's going to give you reparations, they know this. Now, in a broad sense, second generation, right? If they so choose, right, they can consider themselves Nigerian American, Black American, or African American. But ethnically, I'm gonna say this it's got to be important. They can never be considered African Americans, and nobody's that crazy to consider them that. I think that's an important distinction here, and I never hear y'all say that.
Let me ask you a question, but based on what you just said, are you saying? I want to be clear that I'm understanding you correctly.
Right?
Are you saying if tomorrow they said, okay, we're going to give reparations to African Americans?
That's right.
Are you saying if they did that tomorrow, then Babatunde wouldn't be qualified under that term right there?
They're going to make you submit your DNA, and your DNA is going to.
Everybody's DNA is not the same thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The way I get feelings.
You cut me off. You cut me off. You're going to miss the beautiful thing right here.
I'll go ahead. I want to hear this beautiful
thing. I am telling you, if I had trillions of dollars to give African Americans, I don't give a damn who call themselves African Americans. I got the trillions of dollars. I'm going to use the available historical information, couple it with genetics, and that's how you will get paid. So you can run around here, really a Nigerian American, your second generation kids are we African American culture, hip hop. So what? Ethnically, you will never be an African American because your ancestors did not go through the transcontinental slave trade that put you in America. Your genetics say that you're from Nigeria. We can see it right here in the DNA. DNA talks and bullshit walk. That's why I said y'all be playing with us.
Hey Jay, don't be coming at my tail like that, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Mentally challenged, man. We're gonna have to get you up out of here, bro. No, you ain't going after them. You ain't going after them.
Y'all owing us, man.
Hey, sincere, let me.
Go ahead, Dewan.
Hey, sincere, look, and I get it. But here's the
Do you,
issue.
Dewan?
Here's
Do
the
you,
issue.
Dewan?
Here's the issue.
You know we can actually do that, Dewan.
Here's the issue. You ain't the one passing the money out. When it comes down to it, the government, the
Right.
people who will be in charge of this, you
Right.
have to have it written in plain sight. Black people said that if we have the same conversation in 1967 and we hear the term minority or people of color, as of 1967, we the only minorities. We the only people of color. So of course that's coming to us. But we realized 2-3 generations later, minority men, white women were able to get it, midgets were able to get it, handicapped people, and anyone is back. So
veterans, disabilities.
when it comes down to it, all we're saying with delineation is we want it on paper because guess what? I ain't gonna be the one in control of handing out a damn thing. The people in control of handing things out, they know what it is. But every time in the past, going back to the civil rights movement of 1868, when they made benefits the 13, 14 to 50 men for black people, the Supreme Court said, oh, corporations can use it. Every time from 1868 to 1968 to right now, whenever they do something, if things are not spelled out in fine detail in that to the letter of the law, if it's just something that we all feel, we all think what I would do, when it happens to that, the government comes in and be like, okay, yeah, that's what you do. Well, I'm not you. Come on, everybody else, to get some of these benefits.
So you didn't hear what I was saying then. So you didn't understand what I said. Let me say it again.
What you said. Don't
No,
flip
no,
it.
let him say. So Dewan, what did he say? What did he say?
No, Dewan didn't understand what I said. Because no, we just heard you.
The whole point I'm saying is it ain't about you.
You don't have to say it again. We heard you.
No, you asked me.
No, I asked him to explain. What did he hear?
Again?
No, what did he hear from you? Because you said, Dewan, you don't understand.
Yeah, he
I'm
explained.
giving him an opportunity to say what he thought.
Yeah, do it again, Dewan, so we can really get because you're in the pickle right now. Go ahead.
You said what I would do. We all know what an African American is. We all know that we have to go to the DNA. You said DNA, right?
Yeah,
you said we have to go to the paperwork, right?
Out of here, Jay.
One thing
more thing,
sincere
bro.
and people in
Disrespecting
FBA
the
understand
chat.
is that
Don't
in
do
order for
that.
the government to do it, you got to have that spelled out before it gets put into action. You got to specifically state who gets what. If there's any gray area, the people that's handing out the money, which are not you, they're going to take whatever caveat they can take to give to someone else. The reason why we have handicapped stalls is because that was civil rights money that was meant for black people. Title IX exists, women's athletics, because that was civil rights money meant for black people. But since it wasn't spelled out, since it was suggested minorities, people of color, when the federal money went to the states got, we learned from Dr. Carl Anderson, who wrote the bill, by the way, that the states got to choose who get the money. So since it was not specifically talked about the Negro, Black American who was here, since it was just a caveat, minority or people of colors, midgets, handicapped people, women, people from Nigeria, people from Tonga, people from across the world got what my grandparents fought for me.
Like I said, you didn't understand what I said. Because I never said it was me.
I'm gonna change what I said real quick, but go ahead.
What I said was, and I used myself as an example, meaning I am the government with trillions of dollars. Let me put it this way. I have trillions of dollars. I'm not just giving my trillions of dollars away, which is not the same about what you're talking about.
They give trillions of dollars away every day.
Not what we listen. What I'm saying is they're going to have a method for calculating who's who. They have it. In the 60s, they didn't have that. That's not the same conversation with minorities and women and all that. You conflating the two items. That's a whole different thing. Where I'm from, we call that flim-flamming. So I want to stay right on the course of things. I am telling you that DNA has already made the distinction between a continental African and an African that went through the slave trade and developed the culture that we now call African American. It's already in your DNA. The DNA speaks. Now, my point is, let's just say they decide to give it to everybody. Then at that point, I ain't snitching. I don't care. Because if you really want to talk about it, colonial powers put destruction on Africa and Africans everywhere. So then the point would be, why the hell would you care what some white people did with their money? If they decide to pay everybody, why would you even care? They ain't taking no money off your plate. There's these two parts I don't understand. So listen, man, they broke law.
Yeah, they did.
They broke law, bro. Right?
No talk.
Listen, they kidnapped us first. You got to kidnap a person to enslave them, which is illegal. Kidnapping is illegal in the Bible. Kidnapping is illegal in Rome and Greece. Slavery is legal in the Bible, and slavery.
But y'all don't find it funny that they trying to say all black people came from this one little spot, but we really all over the world, and they got the land. And people so dumb that they don't see that play. This is what we talking about. We talking about the land that we trying to get, and you trying to make it seem like somebody captured us and took us to every piece of the land. It's crazy to me.
It's legal in Rome, and slavery is legal everywhere. So they kidnapped us illegally, then they enslaved us, right? They made us a part of the largest forced migration, okay? We the gift that keeps giving, all right? We are the foundation, see, you hear that word? Of the global economy. And everybody knows this, bro. You don't need a master's degree to recognize that African Americans are FBA. So whenever you say FBA, you're talking about the damn African Americans. Whenever you talk about ethnogenesis, you're talking about African Americans, bro. Like, y'all got to be trolling me. So I don't care if other Africans that wasn't in America get some bread from some robbers. Who cares about that, bro? Now, if you think you're gonna get a less money, okay, then please look at our DNA. So y'all really have no argument here. Everything that you think you need, we already got it, bro. You act like you're dealing with people who don't use science. They do, bro. They're not gonna just sit around and give away $1 trillion. You tried to play the whole quote unquote civil rights era, and nah, bro. They're not giving nobody nothing, bro. They're gonna make sure that you are part of the ethnic group that was enslaved and brought to America, that mixed with Europeans and some daggone Native Americans, which are not black. I ain't gonna let y'all run tonight. Stay right there, bro.
What you're saying is you're literally going against what they actually do. Like, name the time that they they just gave out $1 trillion in PPP loans and didn't verify who they gave it to.
And then why would you care?
Well, the reality is it still doesn't make sense, though. It still doesn't make sense, because what makes you believe just because we name ourselves FBA, they're going to then verify it in?
Right, crazy.
If you look, what you're saying, like if they don't verify, it doesn't matter what name an African from the continent come say I'm FBA. They're not going to verify it.
I'm sorry. In legal paperwork, names matter. Y'all can talk all the hotel battle you want.
Hold on, names do matter, but names do matter. But utilizing what you're saying, what I'm saying is people can then say they are something else.
No, you can't, because we got documentation and numbers that we're the first. Africa don't even know where they from over there. They wasn't tracing it. They didn't have the statistics. America, they've been tracing. We can trace our history back as far as anybody else. So I don't know why they should be doing this.
There's not going to be a verification.
And you're right. And here's
just like the natives had to verify. They had to prove. So what? But
they got.
I know anybody, if you came from a particular area, bro, in the hood, and they go back, because back in like the 60s, 70s, our family wasn't intermeaning with all kind of races back then. In the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, bro, it was you was with who you was with. You was with somebody in the neighborhood. If you was black, whatever culture you was, you stuck to your culture. We didn't start this culture mixing until like the 2000s, bro. So if you go back to your history, everything's still gonna be pretty much there, because back then we stuck together because we had to. It was just only FBA. It wasn't FBA just mixing with a whole bunch of people. That's not the case. Yeah, documentation beats conversation. So we know this. Like, people can trace the history back to the 1500s, 1600s, because there's a lot of us like that. Let me let them cook though.
$5. They have $5. It became $5 Indians. They didn't have to prove. They did not have to prove.
No, that's one little incident. You conflate that whole situation.
That's one incident.
That happened over a period
Just
of decades.
green, bro.
Okay, you know what I mean. But look, check it out. There still had to be verification. So look, check this out. Verification, a name change is not going to change it, bro.
I thought this was going to be something.
Oh my God.
No, I thought it was going to be something else too, because my argument is not none of this. My argument is that FBA is a identity with an ideology, with all types of talking points.
But brother,
and misinformation.
all of the talking points that you say you're against, that you attribute to Tariq Nasheed, and I'm not here to defend Tariq, but all of the talking points that you attribute to him, those are Dane Calloway's talking points.
No. Tariq Nasheed is the tetherer. He's the one who talks about ethnogenesis. He's the one who talks about.
What is a tether?
Let's do the hairline test. He's the one who says.
But what is a tether? What is a tether?
Bro, do you understand those jokes are political?
What is a tether?
Do you understand those jokes are political?
What is a tether,
Oh,
sir?
I know what it is.
What is it? What is it?
From what I've looked at and heard from your ideas, one who is not from this country, who is benefiting from the what? You saying no?
Go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, Brother Dewan said, who is benefiting off of what Dewan is saying African would do or Caribbean would do and get our benefits and things of that nature. One who will cosplay as the African American or FBA.
It's almost like you're trying to delegate and save white people money or something. Am I tripping here, yo? It's like y'all trying to save white people money.
Dewan was saying no, then he said yes. So
he go ahead, Dewan. So what part did he get wrong?
Dewan, are you trying to save white people money or something, yo?
I want to answer this question.
Let him answer.
I mean, is it me, yo? I'm sitting there listening. They fighting over white people money.
Hey, brother, the main character syndrome got to stop. It's not about you. We're trying to have a discussion.
No, it's about me. It's about what I'm saying. Y'all sitting up here trying to save white people money.
I want to answer that.
Yeah, answer that question while you save white people money. Make sure you save them some money.
I want to answer that brother's question. Sorry, arguments don't work with me. I want to answer that brother's question.
You need to drop it down.
And no, you're right. I did say no at first, but no, the way he ended it, he was 100% right when he said a tether is somebody that's trying to tether on to and cosplay Black Americans to get Black American benefits. The issue is, I wouldn't even mind them doing that if they brought the money back into the community, but they send it back overseas. We see what's going on with Essence Magazine. They hire other Africans, not Black Americans, but they use our struggle, our plight, our complaint, and then they get into colleges off of this, like Candace Owens did. They get into colleges off of this. They get jobs off of this for the states where affirmative action still exists. So this is a policy issue. Like, I ain't got no issue with, like, personally with Africans or Caribbeans or anybody else. But policy wise, they not all immigrants. All immigrants are not tethers.
Right.
People who act in this way, act Black, to go ahead and take from Black and then go ahead and say, I'm not Black when something good happens. That's a tether. People who just from another country who are down, who just about their business and I ain't got no problem with them.
You know, the important part that was left out. The important part that was left out is that they have anti-Black American sentiments. They're very anti-Black American while assuming our identity in order to obtain whatever benefits that may be available. And the problem with you talking about we trying to save white people some money, no, we can't allow our justice claim to get diluted. If you allow Black immigrants to get in, that opens the door for all immigrants to get in. Why not? Just give it to everybody. And then the whole justice claim gets diluted, and then we never get repaired. The purpose of reparations is to be made whole. We never get made whole if we are not specific. We're the ones that have the specific harm. So we're the ones that need the exclusive specific repair.
Delineation.
Yes,
that's the thing.
I think y'all still just y'all see.
Hold on, Asar. So they playing with us right now, yo. We just told them that there are scientific studies that can clearly show the difference between what they call a tether and an African American. Did I not say that?
You playing with us, brother.
Did I not say that? Document me out. Document me out.
Yeah, you did. That's what you said.
So then why is everybody ignoring the elephant in the damn room?
You just lied.
The elephant in the room, man.
It's not a lie.
All you gotta do is do your DNA. Have truth.
What he did was he used the term tether as if it applies to all non-FBA.
No, I wanted to have fun.
Let me say this. These are the wrong two. These two brothers, I'll be honest with you, these two brothers are not the most of the FBA people you see out here. They are not. They are not. I talked to them.
No, they scamming.
No.
He is them. He is them.
Are we scamming?
Sensei, I think you partly kind of Pan-Africanist too. Are you not?
Pan-Africanist? No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you love black people around the world?
Yes, I do.
Do you think we should come together?
I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's practical though.
But I mean, do you think we should come together ideally?
Ideally, yes.
Ideologically, just like FBA is ideal. Ideally, I agree with you about FBA.
That would be
ideally, I agree with you about FBA.
I know. You just gotta seem to have a problem with. You got to bug in your ass.
I have a problem with what you don't. I think people don't see. See, as one who studied the mind and psychology and cults and all this type of thing, there are.
What I want to say to you, brother. What I want to say to you. Sorry. What I want to say to you, brother.
I wasn't finished.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right.
What I was saying was there are thoughts that are in people's minds that cause their divisiveness here that is unnecessary. Although you might say it's not everybody, it is metastasized. What's the word? What's the word, y'all? Metastasizing. Yeah, it is. And if you can you even acknowledge that?
What's being divided? You said divisiveness. What's being divided?
Brother, look in the chat. Look, I didn't even look at the chat yet. I guarantee you the chat. Read the chat. Read the chat.
Forget about the chat. What's being divided? What's being divided by our?
Look, hold on, man. I'm never gonna let y'all get away with this.
Hold on.
Why do we keep saying that there are not scientific tools that can separate an indigenous Nigerian or an indigenous West African from an African American? You played the joke. You start talking about the 60s when the human genome wasn't even mapped out yet. All that was flim-flam because it took us away from what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is you acting like that somebody that's going to spend $1 trillion won't use tools that will separate and will save them some damn money. That is craziness, bro. I am telling you that there are tools right now. Have you taken a DNA test? Watch this. Have you taken a DNA test yet?
Yeah.
Dewan?
Yes.
Okay. Put it up. I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
I don't trust you, so I
Right. Definitely don't trust you.
Brother Dewan, what did your DNA test?
How about you, Sincere? Have you taken a DNA test?
Hold on. Let him answer.
Hold on. I'm running. No. I don't want to hit Dewan because he clowning us. Because now he didn't took a DNA test, so now he trolling, so he know what it is, but he playing. Now, Sincere, have you taken a DNA test?
Brother Dewan, what did you say? Brother Dewan, what did
Watch
you
this. Watch this. Hold
on. Wait, man. Wait. Dewan.
Doc, you on the rope, so do not let him off the rope. You're going to flip flam.
What did it say? What did it say, Dewan?
Watch, he's going to flip flam. Watch.
Was that?
What did your
my
DNA
DNA?
test say? Yes, when you took it.
I have people from Nigeria, from Morocco, from Native America, and from Europe.
Oh, so you had a combination of both.
I got a question about
You
that.
did 23. Hold on, Sissy. So you did 23 and me, Brother Dewan?
I did Ancestry. And I also did Ancestry genealogy. And I got paperwork. You know, I could actually show you.
You show up the DNA test.
I could actually, I don't trust you.
You ain't supposed to.
I could show you where my family lived in Middle Essex, England in 1505.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You missed something, You missed something, Dewan. It also tells you where your people come from here in the United States. Where do your people come from? That's what Unc is saying. Unc is saying that it can trace your lineage even here. Mine say I'm from the people of the Virginian African Americans.
The Virginia and also the Powhatan in Michigan.
No, I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about you, but I'm talking about me.
That's the Canadian, original Canadian tribe, bro. You ain't no daggone Canadian.
There
You
was no
tripping.
Canadian. There was no Canada back then, brother.
You know what I mean. The geographical reason it's called Canadian is the tribe you just said.
There was no Canada in the 1600s when I got my DNA.
So you saying you don't know what I'm saying, though? You trying to say you don't know what I'm saying now?
No,
the tribe you just mentioned is the first tribe that inhabited that area, bro.
Brother, they came from the Pennsylvania area. Your main character syndrome is getting you in trouble, man. I'm
I
just
don't
trying to
know
say
what you're
things.
talking about. I'm gonna play this clip. Hey, Doc, I told you he was gonna flim flam, right?
Yeah, but sincere, did you take a DNA test?
I did not.
Okay, all right. That's
But let's get it straight. Unc is accurate. It told you where your people are from. That can be done. You can call yourself whatever and take the test and prove that your people are from United States.
Here's the whole thing about it. I don't keep trying to get you're trying to get us caught up in. Well, I said the DNA. Look, okay, I will give you all the DNA you want to give.
Thank you.
You can have everything.
Thank you.
I'm dealing with when I come here, because I was here as far as California reparations. I was here from day one. I drove to Sacramento. You know what I mean? I'm at the rallies in the Merck Park. I'm at the rallies at Cal State North Edge, my alma mater. And so I'm here. So I'm talking about how the DNA's fine. How does this place function? How it functions is wherever the money's going to go, that has to be explicitly written out before any check is cut. And when the history of the United States, when you leave ambiguity when it comes to Black Americans, they find a way to send it everywhere but to us. And they've had a track record of doing this for well over 100 years, 170 years now. And so what we're saying is to prevent the United States from United Statesing is to have it very explicitly cleared out before any check is cut. And how do you trace an FBA? You trace an FBA who can trace their lineage. First off, they have to currently identify as Black. And if they can trace their lineage to the 1870s, most of us can, those would be the people allocated the money. Very simple.
You can do all of that without even changing the name. You can write all that out. And that
Why is y'all sitting around here playing, man?
You can write all of that without
sitting there playing with us, man.
You can write all of that out.
If y'all got
trolling,
clearly, you can write all. Can you write all of that out without changing your name?
Can you share my screen, Doc? I'm tired of playing with you.
California, we did write it out without changing your name.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That is the thing. We're talking about FBA.
Let me tell you what you're saying. This is what you're saying. You playing now. This is what you're saying. You said this.
Now I'm clowning.
Yeah, here you go.
You can do all that without changing the name.
This how I know it's all foolery. They can't defend it.
You heard your brother say
so that's
you can do all of that without changing your name.
Man, you gotta let me. You talk.
Hey, you gotta let it. Yeah. Doctor.
I'm playing in their own words. I'm tired of playing now. Know what everybody said? Nah, we ain't saying.
I'll come riding off your energy parting.
He's sitting up here, no daggone well. Close it out with a statement. Here you go. This how I know it's all foolery. They can't defend this. So that's one thing y'all gonna have to step away from. Yeah, you may play with the word FBA.
Listen to
but
this.
I'd be damned if you ain't gonna step away from acting like the first people in America was Black people. That's one thing. We share my screen.
He's saying that the first Black people in America. He's saying that it's pseudoscience.
I don't like the New
saying
York
that the
dude
first Black people in America weren't Black. Well, who were they then? Are you gonna answer? Does this dude not know that Black people were across the planet from day one? Like, I stand by that. This book by David Imhotep is a good one. The First Americans are Africans.
Not a good book.
It's a lot of these good books you can get. Talk about Black folks in America. You know, you got
Ivan Van Sertima.
Dr. Clyde Winters, the world history of the Black race, and the Black that was all across the planet, and even on the back cover here in North America. You know, like it's a lot of places you can go.
I think
his whole point of view is Black Americans, Black people, dark skinned people weren't here in America. This nigga really thinks the Indians was here, right?
Yeah, they got them thinking the Indians was here. That's what they think. They don't want to give us no credit for us getting our land, but he not educated. She discredited every book but her. But y'all, look, I want y'all to check out this. Check out this. All of these immigrants was found in the boat, not in the boat, but in the truck. We finna get to that. We finna get to it. Don B. Cook. Yeah, Don B. Cook. I mean, they can't just get over the fact that, you know, it's people tracing their lineage back. They just don't want to admit that. But Don B. always holding it down. Yeah, 2,000 pyramids in North America, right? Let me money drying up. Yo, cause they got stuff like this going on in the I don't know what y'all think about this though.
By DPS on the side of the road, 23 illegals were found hidden inside the sleeper compartment of a semi-truck during a traffic stop in LaSalle County, Texas.
I can't reach. Open that ticket. Yeah. Hey, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan. Nadie. Todos rodeados.
No se mueva.
The incident occurred Friday, November 28th, 2025, just after 5 p.m. on Interstate 35. Right. A Texas DPS trooper pulled over this white Freightliner for driving on an improved shoulder. During the stop, the officer immediately found out that the driver did not hold a CDL at all. That's the first violation. You can't drive a commercial vehicle without a license. But it didn't stop there. The K9 came out there and got to work, and you won't believe what it discovered. They found 23 illegals hiding in the sleeper.
Right now I'm going to California. You're gonna go pick someone up? Yeah. You're a truck driver, like for what company? No, it's private company.
Bro, you ain't gonna be doing nothing but getting them illegals. Run you up a check.
What are they called?
The officer is asking him, is he going to pick up a load or something? Is he working for a trucking company? Because he's bobtailing. So the officer is like, what company are you working for? And this fool didn't even know the name of the company. He had to look back at the truck. That's the first red flag. And then look at him. He's fully aware he's in trouble. That's why he's shuffling through that phone right now.
You have a CDL?
I do, but like I said, I don't have a picture of it on him.
Not right now. Okay.
And that was a lie. He told the officer he got a CDL but didn't have it with him. Red flag number 2. How are you driving a commercial vehicle and you don't have your license on you? You're supposed to have everything in order. License, registration, insurance. Remember, you're supposed to be a professional driver. And if he's actively working, he should at least be able to show his confirmation to prove where he's going to pick up a load from. But no, he's got nothing on him at all.
Right now you're alone. You're alone right now, right? Yeah, I'm alone. Okay.
There's another lie. The officer was like, you're alone right now? And the driver said, yeah, I'm alone.
No,
could I see what you have in the vehicle? Do you give me permission? Is it required? It's not required. You don't have to let me. I mean,
you have to. There's no reason you should be searching the vehicle.
I mean, I'm asking your consent, but if you're gonna deny it, then that's fine. But I'm gonna stand by here just for some other units to get here, and I'm gonna run a dog around the vehicle. I just think I'll get to that right now once they get here.
I guess I would just wait for the other units.
For other units, that's fine. I don't want you to feel like you have to do it. That's why I'm asking you for your consent. But I understand that you're not gonna.
There's no reason to.
Okay, I understand that. But you can't just wait right here. I'm just gonna stand by for them. Okay.
So the officer wanted to search a truck. The driver didn't want to give him permission. He's like, why do you need to search my truck? So the officer's like, okay, just wait here. Some other officers are on the way. They're bringing the K9. We'll just have the K9 walk around the truck. Meanwhile, you could tell this fool right here, he's getting more nervous by the minute. They're acting like he's talking on the phone, calling a lawyer or somebody. You know, they always seem to have a lawyer on retainer.
But in terms of the violations, you don't have a CDL and you're operating a motor vehicle. You're not supposed to be driving a commercial motor vehicle.
Right. Even if they didn't find anything in the truck, he's still operating the vehicle without a license. He lied about having a CDL. It's not that he didn't have the license on him. He didn't have one at all. So this guy already knew he was going to jail anyway. That's why he's on the phone trying to call somebody.
Okay, and who are you calling right now? I'm just curious. I'm calling my lawyer. Your lawyer? All right. Can you just keep an eye on him?
Uh-oh, he's in trouble now. As soon as the other officer said the K9 alerted, do you see his face? That's because the officers didn't know what was in there, but the driver, he knew exactly what was in there.
All
right. Can you just keep an eye on him? We're going to detain you real quick, okay? If we don't find anything in the vehicle, we're going to release you. Right now, we're going to conduct a probable cause search on the vehicle right now, okay? Open it. I can't reach. Open it back, okay? Yeah. Hey, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan. Nadie. Están rodeados. Get more out.
Can't have no other man standing and sitting on top of me like that. That's
Y'all, look at all those people back there. At first, I thought it was maybe like 10 people, but oh no. They pulled not 10, not 15, not 20, but 23 people out of there. 23.
Yeah. Hey, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan. Nadie. Están rodeados. Get more out.
Speaking of their country people who already know Spanish.
Ponte tus manos en tus cabezas, ¿ok? Ahorita vamos a sacar.
Wow, unbelievable. Remember, he didn't have a trailer, so that's how they went under the radar. When you see somebody bobtailing in a Freightliner sleeper, you're not thinking it's 23 people stuffed in the cab. That's crazy. I mean, if they didn't have this on video, I wouldn't even believe it. Look at all those people. And we're thinking they're just smuggling people in the back of trailers. No, they're smuggling people in actual tractors. The 23 illegals came from Nicaragua, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Mexico. Of course, they were all detained. And it's not looking good for the driver identified as 24-year-old John David Amaya. Amaya was arrested immediately on 23 counts of smuggling of persons. We're talking about a state jail felony that carries a stiff penalty under Texas law. Just 2 years ago, Governor Abbott, he signed legislation creating a mandatory 10-year minimum prison sentence for individuals convicted of smuggling of persons. So if convicted, the driver's minimum sentence is 10 years. That's the starting point. He's facing much more prison time, up to anywhere from 20 or even 99 years to life, if the case is enhanced to a higher degree, like a first-degree felony. So that's a minimum 10 years to 99. That's what he's looking at after stuffing 23 people in the back of a Freightliner. All I gotta say is, Pablo, you gotta be more careful. Because if you weren't swerving in that truck, you could have gotten away with it. He was probably up there on the phone, distracted, doing something. Just way too comfortable to be driving a truck with no license for one, while you got 23 people crammed in the back. That's crazy, but I digress. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. I want to thank everybody who supported this channel. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want to balance
like that. What's up with you, man? Y'all be going after our FBA. My FBA sisters, we ain't allowing it on this channel, man. What is you talking about, Ray Penn? We a brand new cult. This ain't a cult. First off, see, that's how y'all try to discredit us. You say lies about us so that, you know, we can look like a bad, like you can't just speak the truth on what really it is. You gotta say negative stuff so people can. That's how they did with the Black Panthers. Oh, the Black Panthers is a hate group. So now it's people that really think that the Black Panthers was a hate group instead of them knowing the important things that the Black Panthers did. That's what y'all doing with us right now. It's sad, bro. Now you going after Donna. Donna show me a black 2014 identified FBA. That ain't the point. The point is you calling it a cult. You giving it a bad name, bro. That's like weird, bro. Just give it what it is. Yeah. I blocked them on my end. Yeah, COINTELPRO text. That's what they do, bro. It's like, just say what it is. Don't try to lie on me, bro, about something that the group ain't even that. There's plenty of cults out here you need to be exposing, bro. If you thinking FBA a cult, you ain't even exposing the real cults. Them the ones you need to be talking about then. Let me rock with this, y'all. But yeah, bro, that jump be getting me upset though. Like, bro, that's a stupid move to even do, bro. Just lying on my people name. It said, and what they had a 5-hour back then.
Earn up to 10x points on travel because you never know where life will take you.
It said Don B back up here snapping.
Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 5th.
I'm trying to see what they look.
I'm not mad at him for that because I started the shit talk. When I did my video reviewing their video, yes, I did crack jokes on him first. I believe in taking responsibility. I cracked jokes on him first when I did my response video a couple days ago. But y'all know me. I just be talking shit. I don't mean nothing I say. I was raised by Percy Beeman. Mr. Percy Beeman raised me. He raised me to add a little bit of shit talk into your point. I can't help it. So I've learned to own up when I do that, you know? Because everybody don't like being talked about and saying people throwing jabs. So I have to own throwing the first stone. Yes, I
Don
did.
be live.
I own that. Now,
Don B got him roll, fat one roll.
But when it came to the show, I wasn't about to be throwing no shots at him. It was like whatever I said that. I forgot even what I said about him.
Put y'all on there.
Oh yeah. All I said was this. In the initial interview on Dr. Ma's channel with him, I said that because he keeps bringing up Tariq Nasheed's name, it sounds like he has Tariq's dick in his mouth. And he didn't like that, you know? So that's where his initial heat was coming from when I came into the room. Whatever.
That's funny.
Say what you gotta say, that's fine.
That's funny.
Just make it funny. That's my only requirement. The same requirement I have in the chat. If you are trolling in the chat and you want to crack jokes, that's fine. Just be funny. And he wasn't funny. That was the annoying part. Him talking about the back of my neck. I know I got a pack of hot links on the back of my neck. Yeah. If I cared that much, I would have lost them by now. But a couple jokes don't bother me because a couple jokes coming my way means 10 coming back to you. Now, can you handle my 10? Can you handle my 1? You got to ask yourself that question before you throw something at me. Cashmere said Faison. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said Faison. Faison Love will be at the Hidden History Museum Comedy Show on December 20th. I'm hosting. Faison Love is going to be there. And we have Buddy Lewis. We have Kanisha Buss. So come to the Hidden History Museum. Also, subscribe to my Patreon. My Patreon, we're doing the Music University right now. The History of R&B 10-part course is we've done 4 classes so far, 6 more to go. Sign up for Patreon right now.
All right, I'm finna. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. He claimed he took care of him. He handled the business from what he's saying. But I want y'all to see this. What they got going on with these people, man. What they got going on.
The rise of Islam is real here in the United States. It's the fastest growing religion across America, and it's nearly doubled in size over the past 2 decades. Muslims aren't just outpacing the nation in birth rates, they're also out-converting Christians. Nearly a quarter of all U.S. Muslims are converts, and most of them used to be Christians. While Christian churches are losing members, mosques are gaining members, and they're keeping them. And today I'm here in Minnesota, home to one of the largest Muslim populations in all of America, to witness the rise firsthand. I'll be speaking with Muslims, Christian Americans, all Americans, entering in the mosque, asking the questions you guys want answered, from 9/11 to Sharia law, everything in between. There are no questions that are off the table for this video. And now let's hit the streets and see what's happening. And to see the rise of Islam firsthand, we head to Cedar Riverside in Minneapolis to see how much the Islam community has grown inside of this community inside of America. And why do you think so many people are converting to Islam here? It's the number one growing religion here in the United States.
Well, it's not only the growing, it's the fastest growing religion in the world. And no one can stop it. It looks like it is the best and the final religion to humanity. So if you don't accept it, that's up to you.
Islam is the number one growing religion here in the United States. Yeah. Why do you think that is so?
Because of the great influx, number one, of the immigrants that we had.
While we were inside of Cedar Riverside, we actually met a lady who had left the Islam faith. So are you a Muslim woman or no?
I'm not. My parent was Muslim.
How come you left Islam?
Because they control me. They control my clothes, and it's not good.
Do you think women are suppressed?
Yes, of course, they're breast. It's not. They don't want to, but we female, they're afraid to get killed. So that's why they wear hijab. They wear big clothes. But me, I don't want clothes. You have to tell President Trump. You have to tell me a message. Females, they have this United States. They have freedom. They can wear whatever they wanted. But Islamic, they breast females.
So if you're a woman in Afghanistan and you don't wear the hijab,
they kill you. They don't want you if you don't wear hijab. Even me, I wear this because they don't want me to wear pants. Yeah.
Really?
I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid. That's why I wear this.
And why do you think Islam is the largest growing religion here in the United States right now?
Because of our Quran. Our Quran, our book never changes.
Hey, I want y'all to make sure if y'all want to contact me with messages and stuff and give me some story that's out, hit me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. It should be in the description on my videos. But make sure y'all hit me, man, if y'all want to ever message me or get in contact. That's probably the best place.
It's one book, one language, one religion. There's Islam in all over the world.
Do you think Islam will eventually overtake Christianity here in the United States?
Worldwide, not just the United States. We have people converting every day.
And what leads a Christian man to convert to Islam?
When they read the Quran and they find the truth, and they read it in English, and they see how peaceful Islam is.
And could you shake a man's hand?
No.
Do you find that interesting that women can't shake other men's hands?
No, I don't find that interesting. It's normal.
Is it true that Muslims also practice polygamy?
Yes.
Would you accept another wife into your marriage?
In our religion, it says.
What's it like being a Muslim here in the United States?
I'm not speaking English, only one Somali language.
What does it mean to you to be a part of Islam?
I don't know. I'm not speaking English very well.
How are you? Do any of you speak English? English?
Dang, they like.
No. Can women speak on camera?
Mexican.
No. I kept going because I wanted to speak with some more of the elders here to see if they could share their story about coming here from Somalia and how they've seen the rise firsthand. Although none of them spoke English. How are you? Can I ask any of you guys some questions? No? Speak English?
English, no.
No? Do any of you speak English? I then found someone who I could speak with and ask the controversial questions. And what do you say about what happened on 9/11, or those when people say Allah Akbar or things like that?
I thought it was
it's tragedy.
Would you say that's a misrepresentation of the true Islam, or do you think
It definitely is misrepresentation. True Islam doesn't believe in violence.
after a few interviews, somebody came up to us angry because we were asking people about the rise of Islam inside this community? My name is Dick Shirley.
What are you doing?
My name is Dick Shirley. I'm a YouTuber. We're doing a video on the rise of Islam here in the United States.
The rise of Islam.
Yeah, it's the #1 converting religion.
The rise of Islam. Make it make sense for me.
This guy wouldn't show his face on camera, and this conversation kept going for a few minutes, and he demanded that we deleted the footage of the interviews that we took here on the street. I said no, and he said, you better go, and we're going to make sure you leave. From Minneapolis, we went to a town named St. Cloud that's seen a dramatic shift in their demographic and as well as religion in the area. Inside of this town of St. Cloud, this is one of the many Islamic centers here. This is a mosque here, but something that's super interesting about this mosque right here, it actually used to be a Lutheran church. You can see right here on the backdrop of this wall right here, this used to be a Lutheran church. So that just shows how much of the population has shifted from Christian to Muslim. So right here is the St. Cloud University, and we were just at that mosque right there. And then if you go another block over, there's another mosque. And then what's interesting is right next to this mosque right here, there's a Presbyterian church. So you have two churches right next to each other, one worshiping Allah and the other worshiping God. Do you see more people here converting to Islam or to Christianity?
Just anecdotally, I'd say that Islam's on the rise here. I do know Christianity, including our denomination here in St. Cloud, is not growing. It's actually declining.
Do you see any conflicts with Islam and Christianity?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think Islam and Christianity can coincide here inside of this town?
I think when they get the majority, like there's more people that practice Islam, I think that it will take a different form. I think up until that point, we can coexist. But history's shown that when the Muslim community gets majority in areas, they tend to behave differently. So I challenge you to go and look at the growth of the Somali refugee population, because they're the ones that really put a demand on the desire for Islam. Was Minnesota took a lot of Somali refugees, and many of them were placed here in St. Cloud.
After speaking with the lady from the Presbyterian church, I headed over to one of the mosques to try and speak with some of the people inside. English? Speak English? No. How are you?
Good.
Good. How would you describe the rise of Islam here inside of Minnesota, or inside of St. Cloud?
Mm-hmm. We have talked to. It's coming.
And are you from Somalia?
Yes. Yes.
And what year did you come here?
Come here at 1990.
And how long have you lived here for?
8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. And where are you from?
Somalia, Mogadishu.
And why are a lot of Somalians choosing to come here to Minnesota?
Different reasons, family, wages, a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm leaving the building right now. Try my best to speak to the people inside. A lot of them didn't really speak English. However, now we're going to go to other mosque because now it is the time for prayer. So we're going to head over to another one, see if we can talk to some more people as well.
And we're about to go into prayer right now. You can come in, take your shoes off. I can grab you a chair to sit in.
Okay.
You can
It's too late to go.
How many people are you seeing, for instance, like how many white American boys like me are you seeing convert to Islam?
So I'm a close friend of one of them. I wish he was here today so he could talk to you. Originally, he's Irish. His family had lived in Minnesota for the past, I would say, 70 years. His great-grandparents came early on during the early 1900s, and he recently accepted Islam, I would say, 2 years ago. And when I was talking to him, he accepted Islam through reading the Quranic literature, you know?
So what's the difference between you and somebody who's been radicalized?
Well, the difference between me and someone who's been radicalized is this. Most people who have been radicalized for a political gain, not for a theological gain. Allah says in the Quran, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم, which means Allah does not prohibit you from those that don't fight you, don't expel you from your homes, to be kind to them. Allah is not prohibiting you from doing that. In fact, Allah loves those that are kind to them.
So why does the
Something
word
just so right,
radicalized come
bro.
up, for instance, like the death to America, that sort of stuff? Where does that come from? Because that's a lot of stuff that maybe I see on the news, or maybe I see because I'm living here in the United States, and that's kind of the news you get is like the Islam's taking over, and they're gonna want to make sure that Sharia law is brought to pass and that everybody converts to Islam.
Well, there's this misconception about Sharia law. Everybody sees Sharia law as this law that puts everybody that's not a Muslim under this radical military rule that you either comply with what the government says, or you're punished. No, Sharia law is really simple. Of a big part of Sharia law is this: the Prophet, may peace be and blessings be upon him, said, "It is not befitting for you to go to sleep with your belly full of food while your neighbor is hungry." Sharia law is not a political rule. What's specifically funny to me is the right-wing media and the radical Islamists, as I put it, both view the Quran in the same way. They both view the Quran as some war-fighting material that the Islamists use to, prove their point, and the radical right use to prove their point against Islam.
And when people talk about the takeover of Islam, or for instance, they talk about how the Somalians are taking over Minnesota, and they believe it's part of Sharia law. Is that true or not true with what Sharia law says?
Well, no part of Sharia law says go into a land, subjugate its people, do this, do that. Going out, when the Prophet would send missionaries to Christian nations, he didn't tell them to, hey, go there, yell at them, yada, 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 do this. No, he said, be like them, dress like them, talk to them, help them, introduce them to Islam gradually. I'm not just gonna go in there and say, hey, this is Islam, take it. If you don't, I'm gonna do something to you. No, it's a gradual thing.
So do y'all see it, man? Yeah, yo. It's a lot of them going on. We're gonna see what why is it always peace upon Muhammad, but never peace upon obedience to Jesus? Man, it's crazy out here in these streets, man. It's for anti-FBA hate speech. Most definitely do. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for always tapping in with me. We're gonna be going live tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, we're gonna be going live tomorrow. No gradual nor peaceful when they put the yeah, man. Yeah, I got some cancellation drop tomorrow, man. Make sure y'all if you can hype that video out for me, but definitely got some surprise cancels for y'all tomorrow. Yeah, we got to get these people up out of here. Friday, wow. Okay, Crandall. No problem, bro. Yeah, man, but I appreciate y'all for supporting. Make sure y'all support them videos I got coming out tomorrow. And we're going live tomorrow night. We're going to kick it. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Push me on the algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate y'all. But you all right. And white folks will not be going to their mosque. Facts. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all support. Love y'all, man. Shout out to Mickey Jones, everybody who was tapped in tonight. Tia, Erica Kane, Mike Brown. Shout out to everybody, man, just for tapping in. Race Head always holding me down since day one. Donna C. And we got Khalid holding it in, man. Real backmatic. I appreciate y'all. We're going to catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all make sure y'all check the videos out, man. Push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get it. I'll let y'all tomorrow.